And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Esports World Cup qualifiers, the open qualifier for the Asia region. Welcome, of course, welcome. Yesterday we were live. We wrapped up with the European regional qualifiers. We wrapped up with the Korean regional qualifiers. And today we have Asia followed by the Americas, papi. Back to back to back. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Taiwanese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. Representing Mystery Gaming, it is Lemon. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg player. Representing Offside Esports, it is Rex. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm just catching up. Other casters are lazy. As we are going to be settling in. But yeah, for the time being, though, we are going to be getting into this. We do apologize for. We do apologize for starting a little bit late. We did assume that the event was starting in an hour. We assumed that it was going to be beginning in an hour, so I was not ready for this whatsoever. But we are jumping on in, and I'm more than ready, more than excited. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back at yourselves. The bracket is stacked full of amazing players. We have Rex, we have Lemon, we have Jim, we have Dash, we have Firefly, and many, many others. So definitely do check it out. We'll be embracing the bracket after this series. For now, we're going to be focusing on our ZVP. We're focusing on our first match of the night, and for the time being, it's going to be a standard opener here. Hatch, it's going to be gate expanded to Cybercore at 11. Meanwhile, Rex is going for a Hatch gas pool, forcing the unnatural natural, but Rex has always been coming in as a very cheeky player. We've been having a great time covering Rex in WTL, in World Team League, and he's been coming in with just hyper specialized builds week after week after week. Meanwhile, Lemon has been leveling up quite a bit. Lemon even threatening Oliveira in the Asia regionals, threatening some of these other bigger players. Lemon has been improving a lot over the past, I would say, 6 months of play, maybe over the past year of play. It's been impressive to see the growth of Lemon over time, and I would even I might even say that Lemon is favored here against Rex. It does depend on whether or not Lemon can keep up with the chaotic nature of Rex and with our builds of choices. I'm here, I'm excited, I'm ready to bear witness to what Rex has to offer. And as we settle into this, a big shout out to Ice Sky in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing for 27 months. Thank you so much for the support for oh so long, for 27 months. Gracias. Obrigado. Ah, beautiful. As we are embracing this, it's going to be a Stargate opener here out of Lemon. Is going to be initial Stargate, likewise with this into Oracle production, so nothing too crazy. Standard opener here at 11. Meanwhile, Rex has to keep up with the Adepts, has to make sure that we can maintain ourselves and minimize losses. So far, we do go in for the surround. Oh, the Adepts, they do commit to the shade, and it looks like one Adept is going to get caught out. Nicely done here by Rex, shuts down the first Adept. That does strip away one-shot potential here for Lemon. Does strip it away. As for now, we're going to be racing back. Oracle has arrived. Third base soon to be taken on location. But now that one Adept has gone down, that means that this third base is that much weaker. This location is that much more vulnerable. Lings are moving out across the map. And can we deny the third? It's going to be close. Oracle likewise moving out across the map. The Lings, they have arrived. And it looks like they will get here just in time to get on top of the Adept. The Adept is going to be under fire. The Probe as well. The Probe goes down. The Adept, and can we force a cancel? We do have another Adept behind this. The Oracle could race back home. For now, we're going to be harassing across the map. Ooh, quick morphin of the Spore. Oracle unable to get too much damage done. Not yet. We've one extra drone kill so far. Lings are forced back, and with the help of this second Oracle, looks like we have defended. We have defended. Third base is getting up and running. We got one Probe kill, but just the one, and Rex will be droning from here. Will be droning from here. So for now, we are going to be settling in. We do have our follow-up. It's going to be a Forge as well as a Twilight Council. Do have our upgrade follow-up here for Lemon, working towards Blink and +1. Likewise, we're moving out with our initial wave of Adepts. Usually this would be 4 or 5, but here moving out with just 3, just clearing up some creep, keeping Rex on the back foot. At least attempting to. Likewise, Oracles towards the natural. Spores in position. And the Oracles haven't quite done much yet. Adepts will threaten at least the third base. So we have plenty of things in position and we will shut this down. And Rex, based on the fact that we have yet to throw down a Roach Warren, I'm imagining that we're going to be going into Ling Hydra. We'll see. Gases are being taken. Eva Chamber now on the way. We have the lair in production as well. Rex has skipped any kind of safety Roach Warren whatsoever. So I'm feeling Ling Hydra could even be Ling into Aspire. We have the potential to just invest a little bit harder here into our tech. Ling's here for a counterattack. They catch out 3 of those Adepts. Very nicely done. 3 Adepts do go down. Likewise, across the map, Oracle still not able to achieve too much, getting 2 drone kills so far, but we do take some hits. Oh! We catch up 1 transferring worker, but it costs us an Oracle. Not the best trade for Lemon. 1 Oracle for 3 drones. Ling aggression has subsided. We have +1 range on the way. That more than settles that it's going to be those Hydras. And again, Ling Hydra can work quite well, especially if our opponent is going for more macro-oriented style. If they're not being hyper-aggressive, it will allow Rex to not just get into Ling Hydra, but work towards Lurker tech. So Rex is just building up, working through his tech, and again, he can be a little bit greedier thereafter as well. Working towards Lurkers, towards Infestation, towards Hive tech as well. It is an option here for Rex. But now, we're moving out. Alright, gonna be moving out. Stalker's waddling across the map. And with this, we're gonna be able to deny the hatchery. Not enough Lings, not enough Hydras here. Double defend. You force a cancel, not bad. Rex did double expand, so we still have a 4th base nonetheless, but the 5th is denied. We got Storm on the way, working towards charge. Lemon pushing through in between the bases. Rex is lacking Lings, though. Yeah, Hydra's on their own. They're quite vulnerable. But Shantu's Lings are trickling in, and it looks like Rex will barely have enough to hold on. Does force Lemon back. Behind this, Rex throwing down a Roach Warren. Interesting. Just trying to be a little bit safer and more secure here to have a more robust defense for his Hydras. No further tech yet, as we are getting our 5th base, or our 4th base up and running. Prioritizing gases, there it is, there's the Infestation Pits. Again, that should be for eventually Hive Tech and Lurkers. We're building up. We're in for a bit of a longer one. But we can settle down, Papi, we can settle down. From here, we can settle in and embrace a bit of a longer game. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. Just catching with the chat. Hope everyone has been doing well. Outside of you, I think I only see 3D Clan. It's ourselves, 3D Clan. I know Saber is also casting in Chinese. Shout out to Saber. Alright, local Chinese caster. But yeah, fun fact, this event is happening, it's happening like what, 1 hour after the Korean event yesterday? So all the people that were casting the Korean event yesterday, they probably could have casted this event as well, but you know, they don't like casting StarCraft. Oh, smooch. It's okay. They'll get their passion back eventually. It's fine. They'll get it back. As with the completion of Storm, Lemon is pushing forward. Ooh, and has a lot of potential here with this army as well. That's a lot of Storms here on the High Templar. Behind this, we're getting to triple Immortal production. My god, that's 3 Immortals producing... Sorry, 3 Robots producing 3 Immortals at a time. That's going to be a lot of Immortals here moving out for Lemon. Rex is maxed out, but we're not at the ideal. We have Lurkers. Yes, they're on the way. But these are Lair Tech Lurkers. They're Lair Tech Lankers, baby. Oh no. Hive is still in production, no range, no adaptive talents. Lemon pushing forward, and Rex is vulnerable. They're coming in. They do manage to borrow in time. Oh! Decent Storm here on the Lings. You see Rex still trying to stabilize, still trying to hold on. No Lurkers are here in position towards the south. Coming for the surround. Yeah, Lurkers from one end, Lurkers from the other. Storms, they're going to be half decent. But the Roaches, they can tank some storms. Ooh, they can try. You can take one or two, but not more than that. As the Roaches are softening up. Alas, it's going to be enough to force Lemon back. He's running out of storms. He has one storm left. Speaking of, that was the final storm. Not a bad one. Not a bad storm. Alas, Lemon has to retreat. Has to reinforce with more of these Immortals. Archons are morphing in. Need a little bit more time for another storm. Nice revelation. Strong revelation here on the Lurkers. Rex has to retreat. Ay, ay, ay. Force split up. Lurkers are exposed. Yeah, Rex, he overextended. He's going to lose everything here. The entire wave of Lurkers, the Hydras, is all going to go down. And here come those reinforcing Immortals. The Immortals, they have arrived. There's 7 of them, Papi. Ay, ay, ay. There's no section where we had the revelation. There are no more Lurkers regardless. And it looks like Lemon, he's snowballing out of control, breaking through. One final storm on the Hydras. And there's just nothing left. Nothing left for Rex. Nothing left for the Zerg. We have 3 more Lurkers coming in above the revelation. We get the revelation. The Mothership comes in for the cloak as well. I mean, we have it. We have the Overseer. It's okay. Boys are being pulled at a moment of desperation, but here come the charge to help support, to help reinforce. And we knock down all the Lurkers once again. GG gets called, and Lemon will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Solid game there at 11. I mean, it was quite back and forth. I do think that Rex could have definitely cut some corners there and could have definitely teched up a little bit harder, a little bit faster into his Lurkers. And his initial defense wasn't too bad. I'm referring to when Lemon moved out with his High Templar, but he only had like 1 or 2 Immortals with his army. In that first move out, Rex was able to hold his own. If you remember, he collapsed on the main army, he forced it all the way back. But Rex did overextend. He overextended, he didn't have enough to support his Lurkers, and he got like 8 Lurkers caught out. That was a big loss. Sorry, to make the lobby. Do apologize. But that was a big loss there. For Rex. And after that, momentum quickly swung in favor of Lemon. That's when the rest of the Immortals came in to reinforce, of course. And, that is when things got out of hand. Got out of hand. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Sorry, I was just making the lobby. I was just making sure that I could invite everyone and get everyone involved. Just making sure. And here we go. We're getting ready for game number 2. It's going to be on site Delta. Let's go. Eduardo, sí. Just catching up. But now, here we go. We're diving into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of site Delta, leading the series 1-0. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming and leading the series. It is Lemon. One more game to take the series. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the king himself. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player representing offside Esports. It is Rex. Here we go. Again, I want to believe that we can make a series out of this. And again, when it came to the previous game, it was still quite close and quite back and forth between Rex and Lemon. It did just come down to things very quickly escalating out of control. That's, I mean, part of Golden Aura as well. You have very little time to react, very little time to move out across the map and punish your opponent. On a map like Side Delta, it's a lot larger and you have a lot more breathing room. I want to believe that Rex can be a little bit more comfortable on a map as large as Side Delta. I do want to believe. Here we go. And so now, it's going to be a hatch gas pool. Unnatural, natural out of Rex. But outside of that, it's going to be a standard opener. Likewise, Lemon not doing anything too crazy either. Everything's looking as it should, at least here in the early game. And the judges have their grades. Let's see it. 16 high. I appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to Shura. Shout out to Shura with our new commissioned emotes. They're a lot of good fun. The GG, the noodles. The noodles, papi. The ramen. It's beautiful. The hydrating as well with the Maru bottle. Make sure to hydrate yourselves. Get ready for a night full of StarCraft. As a reminder, we of course have the Asia qualifier here and now, and we have the Americas qualifier in a couple of hours. Say a couple of hours, it's like in what? 11 hours? 11 hours time? Less than that? 10 and a half? Something like that. I will be having a nap, like right after this cast. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna force myself to sleep and hopefully wake up in time for the Americas qualifier. That's the current plan. And I think it's right after the Americas qualifier we have the KSL as well. So I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to nap between KSL and the Americas qualifier, but we'll see what happens. I'll do my best. Do my best. As Rex does skirt around the edge of the map with his Lings, going straight for the pylon. Pylon is looking quite exposed. Boys are being pulled. Pylon under fire, and looks like the pylon. Can we bring it down? Oh, we cannot. The pylon will be saved. We shut down the Lings. Does cost us 2 probes, but we survive. We hold. Meanwhile, across the map, Adepts, they have made it in. So Adepts can watch out workers, and we do commit to the shade. But Lings are in position, and we lock down the Adepts. Very nicely done. Up, can we get it? Oh my god, the positioning! Lemon, calm down. Does wedge that weakened Adept behind the first, and we'll be able to keep it safe and sound. The Adepts, they do somehow survive. And with that, they still pose a threat to the mineral lines of Rex. Very nice moves here out of Lemon. Very nice moves. Oracle dips in, gets 2 more drones. Oh. Does get 2 more workers. Likewise, Adepts say shade into the main, getting a 3rd drone. Almost a 4th. 3 drone kills already. Not the worst trade here at 11. 3 workers, 2nd Oracle moves out. There aren't really that many Lings to help punish the 3rd base, so even though we have lost our Adepts, the 3rd base is looking quite safe and sound here for Lemon. Reinforced, of course. That's a Ryan, Poppy. Oh, true. I'll be careful. I'll take care. So Oracles do threaten the mineral lines. We have once again a stated follow-up skill with Twilight Council on the Forge. Should be for +1 and Blink. So once again, we have mirrored builds, or the same build that we saw in Game 1. We're seeing here in Game number 2 out of Lemon. Not deviating too much here out of the norm. Really, my eyes have to be on Rex. And it looks like we will catch these Adepts. 3 Adepts attempt to move out. One gets around, and so does the other. We shut 2 of them down. It's going to cause us Lings, but this will deter any economic damage. We'll maintain our own worker count. So far worth it here for Rex. At the same time, Oracle coming in from behind. Going for the stasis. Up. Going for the pulsar beam. Gets 2, gets 3, gets 4. Oh my god. 4 drones go down, and we get away. And Rex is just having a hard time maintaining his economy here. Against Lemon, that's going to be 7 drone kills so far. Not getting any others, though. Okay. Still manageable. It's okay. Only 7. We're fine. We like losing 7 drones. Don't worry about it. As we come into the natural base, and that's going to be another 5 dead workers. Almost 6. We do punish this, thankfully. 1 Oracle goes down for 5 drones. Oracle dips back into the main, and Lemon just flexing his multitasking, flexing his skill here, getting 7 more drone kills. And back at home, we're building up towards our next step, our next stage into our Blink Stalkers. Now this time Rex did go for a safety Roach Warren, so we could try to invest and work towards Lingbane Roach Ravager. I say that we actually haven't made any roaches yet. We've still been stuck droning. So once that layer is done, we could still work towards Hydras, like we did in the previous game. And speaking of, there it is. Hydra Den is on the way. We're headed in a very similar direction. Very similar. Rex going for his own counterattack. It looks like he will force a cancel on the 4th. Not bad. Getting some damage done across the map. Gets a cancel. Shuts down the pylon. We'll delay the 4th even further. Pushing back that probe. Again, good damage. And back at home, we are just working towards those Hydra upgrades. We're still investing into Roach speed, which is interesting, which means we could try to go Roach Hydra again. That will slow down any further tech we wanted to go into. Still no infestation pits, but again, instead of going Ling Hydra, there's a lot of gas that's going to be spent here in Roaches. Can be quite gas intensive. And we'll delay Lurker tech if we made Roaches. As Lemon, he just waddles across the map. And speaking of Roaches, he's going for the Roach Warren. And he will deny Roach speed. Roach Warren goes down. Hydras as well. Very nice pickups here out of Lemon. Very crisp control. Doesn't lose any Stalkers. 2 Hydras, the Roach Warren. 5 Roaches are on the way. Do have to be careful, but alas, there are no links to really punish these Stalkers. And Lemon, he has a comparable economy here to Rex, if not a greater economy. 176 workers. Rex still building himself up. It's 4 base versus 4 base. No infestation bits. Oh, massive stasis in the main. But no pit, no hive, no lurker den. Just Hydras. And double checking, we have not rebuilt that Roach Warren, so it's going to be Ling Hydra here for Rex. Just pure Ling Hydra. And we may just try to send it. The problem with this, though, is that we have Storm. Storm is already done, and we have plenty of High Templar. And Storm just annihilates Ling Hydra. Annihilates all things light. Not like this. Rex should try and collapse in. But we've got, what, like 6 Storms? Oh no. And I'm ready. I'm ready for the Storm's first one. Zones away on the right-hand side. No big connection yet. Oh, and Rex just cannot hold a candle to this. Honestly, we can just keep pushing. Like, the Protoss army can just... We can send it back. We can A-move. Now we get the infestation bit on the way, but this feels too little too late. Like, now we're thinking of working towards Lurkers, but... Alas, the army's already here. Things they try to come in from behind. So Falco positioning with the High Templar. Storm zones away. Ooh, and much better Storms here. On the Queens and on the Hydras. We still have 2 Storms left. Oof. Speaking of, we are running out. And the High Templar are going to go down. And it looks like Rexy does come in with reinforcements. Does get a flank on the army. Again, we did just run out of Storms. The Zealot reinforcements. Lemon can still take the fight. He can try again if we only had 1 more Storm. We're running out of Zealots, taking down the Archon. Nice stutter stepping here out of Rex. Lemon without Zealots, we can't keep pushing. Oh, but there we go. Reinforcing our Templar, we have triple Robo. Once again, 3 Immortals at a time. The Mass Immortal, pappy. But what we're really lacking here is High Templar. Again, we need to morph them in. We need to gather up that energy. We need those Storms. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den just now started. But we're ready for the Lurkers already. We've got plenty of Immortals. Like, the army composition for Lemon is still ideal. As he takes another base. At the same time, Rex taking his own 5th. Checking our High Templar count, we have 4 High Templar currently. Only 4. And we have to be a little bit more careful. Like, in the last fight, it did feel like we were a little bit too cavalier, a little bit too trigger happy with our Storms. We can't waste them. Cannot waste them. Cannot just throw them away. Need to make them count. Fleet Beacon. Once again for the Mothership. Getting ready for Sky Toss. Rex setting up the surround. Uh-oh. Yeah, looking to come in from all angles. Collapsing on the army. First 2 Storms. They're half decent. They do graze the Hydras. We have 2 Storms left. Storms remaining. Lemon is maxing out, but he still needs time to gather his reinforcements. Lurkers are on the way, and we're getting on top of them. Remember, we still have those 2 storms. First one gets spent. We have 1 left. Hydra's trying to come in, but it looks like Lemon has too much. He's breaking through. In a couple of seconds, we'll have another storm, but we don't even need it. Not anymore. The base is going to go down. Rex amassing up lurkers. Do we have detection? Uh-oh. We do not. No detection, no oracles. Wait, did the oracles go down earlier? They did. Okay, my apologies. we have an observer. We have 1 observer with the main army. Double Stargate, getting ready for Sky Toss. For now, Rex, he's holding the line. Did lose the 5th, but he's holding. How many lurkers do we have? 16. 16 lurkers. Link counterattack does slip into the main. The wall was not a wall. Does force a recall. At the same time, the lurker count getting higher and higher. Rex, he's surviving. It's buying time. Was the observer recalled? Ooh, the observer was recalled. Uh-oh. So no detection with the main army while the ship's on the way. I'd love to see an oracle or 2 just for this revelations. And the lurkers are going for a massive counterattack. At the same time, we're trading a base for a base. Yeah, the 3rd base will fall for the 5th base of Lemon. Now we're just going to keep pushing. This is going to be a one-way trip. Remember, we just recalled. Recall is on cooldown. We're pushing up into the natural. Storm on the ramp. Oh my god, brutal storm! Oh my god. And the Zerg army is melting. The lurkers, they cannot keep up. We have been outpositioned. Lemon, he has control of the ramp. He can gain access to the main, the hive. And how do we push into this? We don't. At the same time, Rex desperately going for a counterattack with last. We have a mothership. We can shoot up. Or we can't shoot up. We can shoot down. No detection, but lurkers do on board. Meanwhile, across the map, that's a kill on the hive. We've got the hydrogen, we're getting the lurker gen as well, and now we have a recall available just in time. And of course, that was the mothership recall, not the base recall. So yeah, we already had one. And now we can break on through. Once again, we're lacking detection. Observer, a little bit too far back. Observer's coming in. And we're able to collapse on this. GG gets called. There's just not enough Zerg left. And Lemon will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Lemon. We'll take the series here. We'll come out on top. My condolences to Rex. Here in game 2 specifically, it did feel like Rex was a little bit too committed to Ling Hydra. If you remember, it did take a long time for Rex to start working on the next step and start working towards the infestation pit and towards the pit and towards lurker tech. Did take a while for that to occur. And it was a similar story in game 1. Game 1 was a little bit different. I would say that game 1, Rex even had momentum on his side, and then he overextended and he lost all of his lurkers, if you remember, after winning a decent fight earlier. So game 1 was a little bit of a different dynamic where Rex did kind of expose himself in a way and was caught with his pants down. Here in game 2, we were kind of just stuck with Ling Hydra a little bit too long, and by the time we got into lurker tech, we already lost the 5th. Remember, we already lost the 5th base, we were already behind economically, and we were already playing catch up there. So GG, well played. With that, we have our first series in the books, and we're getting ready for our next one. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's catch up on what has been going on. Here we go from the bottom. Yep. Just scrolling all the way to the bottom, we have our next series. We have our next series here. Lemon takes down Rex. Firefly took down Bukun. Shout out to Bukun. I believe he does work for SC Boy. I believe he's an admin, if I remember correctly. Sorry, I say SC Boy. He's on Starlight Twinkle, if I remember correctly. He's on Starlight Twinkle. So massive shout out to Bukun, as Firefly is now up against Lemon in the PvP. And that is our next series. Oh, sorry. I thought you could see. I got you. Bam. There we go. But yes, Firefly versus Lemon is going to be coming up next. And Firefly is going to be looking to avenge his fallen teammates. As a reminder, Firefly and Rex are both on Offside Esports. So I'm sure Firefly is looking to redeem himself, redeem Rex, redeem his team against Lemon. I would favor Firefly coming into this series. But again, Lemon has been improving a lot over the past couple of months, so I'm sure it's going to be a competitive PvP between the two of them. Scrolling up, we do have... Oh, okay. We have Nice took down Reinhardt and is now up against Jim in the quarterfinals. Mio, my condolences to Mio here, as Mio did fall to Jim in a ZVP. Again, Mio, he is, of course, the last king of the sea. He's an amazing player in his own right, but Jim was also, you know, the prevalent force before time. Jim has been around ever since the inception of the universe, and and he can be a hard one to beat. Jim has been on the rise as of late, and Miyamika has been taking a bit of a step back. He has been less active in most recent months and even years. Shout out to Miyamika, but alas, Jim does advance on. And welcome to ESL PvP. As we have Nice, Jim, Lemon, and Firefly. What do all these players have in common? Pure Protoss, papi. Pure Protoss. Let's go. The non-stop Protoss is here, at least in the lower half of the bracket. Scrolling up, do we have any other? We have Jeshi, of course, Chinese Protoss player. We have Nanami, Chiaki. If I remember correctly, ooh, are they Zerg or Protoss? I can't quite remember, but Nanami, Chiaki. Actually, I can double check. Nanami is Protoss, of course. It's also Protoss. Scrolling up from here, we do have Silky. Silky is the best Zerg player in all of China. So we have some Zerg representation. We have Oriana, some Terran representation. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Silky is the last Zerg player in the tournament. Oriana is the last Terran player in the tournament. And they're facing off against each other. That's so unfortunate. The last Terran and Zerg, they're facing off against each other in the round of 16. So only one will survive. And the winner goes up against the favorite player, Lancer. Shout out to Camelot. Best of luck to Camelot here. But Lancer is one of the best Protoss players in the Asia region. Lancer, of course, is Cyan. Cyan has name changed to Lancer. And when it comes to the hierarchy of Protoss in the region, I think of Firefly, I think of Lancer, and I think of Jeshi. And I think even nowadays, I would say there's more of a gap between Lancer and Firefly, and specifically Jeshi. I think Jeshi is now more solidified as number 3, and number 1 and number 2 is like Cyan and Firefly interchangeably. Jeshi has his moments, don't get me wrong, he definitely has his moments, and he has some really good performances as well. Does have some good performances, but alas. But alas, Firefly and Lancer has been a lot more prominent. And what I will say is, I believe Firefly and Lancer are the top 2 seeds, so that's why they're on opposite ends of the bracket. And I'm pretty sure that that they're poised to face off against each other in the finals. We'll see if anyone can stop them. We'll see if anyone can stop Lancer and Firefly. We're here to find out. So jumping into our first of many PvPs. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lemon. Here we go. Catching up in the chat. Just catching up. Is this winner goes through or top 2? Winner, yes. Oh, right. So just to quickly go over the format, for those that are curious, in previous regions, we had top 3 make it through, but for the Asia and for the Americas region, it's only top 1. Not number 1, papi, number 1. So there's only enough room for one of these players to make it into the closed qualifier. The qualifier, because of that, is much more brutal. It's much more brutal. It's a lot less forgiving than the European regional or the Korean regional. So it's very cutthroat here in Asia, and there's only enough room for one, which is unfortunate, but best of luck. Best of luck to everyone involved. There's only enough room for one player. As Firefly is going for a fake proxy pylon. Okay. So standard opener is going to be a 2-gate opener out of Firefly, 2-gate opener out of Lemon. Lemon does throw down his second pylon here next to his gas. Meanwhile, Firefly will hide his second pylon to make it look like he's proxying. That's what's happening right now. This probe from Lemon is looking for the pylon, sees that it's not in the main. He's checking the edge of the main base just in case, and now he's going to have to invest a little bit further here, maybe even send out a second probe or fan out his stalker to look for whether or not there even is a real proxy. You can see now we're checking the natural location. Lemon just trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Next up, he's going to check these mineral walls. We can see that a patch has been mined out, and Lemon may believe that there is a proxy on this location, here on the right-hand side of the map. So he's on the hunt. He's on the hunt, looking for a proxy that doesn't exist. Feels probe, man. Meanwhile, back at home, we're getting into our expansion, going for our Stalker Sentry into follow-up Stalker Sentry opener. Very standard, very safe. We can see Lemon likewise going for an early shield battery just to make sure he is secure against early game aggression. And we can see that Firefly is about to rock up with his additional Stalkers. Shield battery is not done yet. Not done yet as we're going for the sentries. Alas, it looks like we should be able to hold on. And Lemon does zone Firefly away. We do deal some hull damage, at least. But not much more than that. Firefly backs off, and can we intercept? We can! We shut down the hallucination! Uh-oh. Lemon's in the dark, and we respond with a Robo. Yeah, Robo is for Immortal production. If we were up against a one-base all-in, then Lemon would be ready for it. Would have Immortal capability, of course. As we dive on the army, we try to focus on the sentries. It looks like, oh, we pop the overcharge. We're out of range, and we're going to bleed out a sentry. Sentry for a stalker. We go for the one-to-one trade. Sentries are quite valuable, especially in the current patch. That's the reason why we are working with so many. We need those hallucinations. Lemon is still in the dark, unaware as to what's going on. But at this stage, now that we've seen no additional stalkers or no additional units in general, we should be feeling pretty safe and sound. And we can see that we're still starting up Immortal production just to be secure. Meanwhile, Firefly is doubling down and going for his own Robo into War Prison. Firefly going to be reinforcing. The Prism does allow the Adepts that are out on the map to actually get into the main. To get into the main base, to get economic damage done as well. Ooh, Lemon throwing down 2 more gateways. Okay, we're set up with four gates on 2 bases. That's quite an amount of production here. Firefly checking, we'll get eyes on the Immortal. Is aware. Is aware of the Immortal. And we will be diving into the main. Okay, Stalker Sentry into the main base. We can go for the Force Field. We're going for the Mineral Line. For now, we're just going straight for the Mineral Line. Going for probe kills. Alas, we don't get many. We do get 1. Second probe goes down. At the same time, Adepts, they can threaten the shade. And the control from Firefly is good enough. We take down a Stalker. And we escape with every single unit. 3 probe kills at the same time. Adepts, they shed into the natural. They deny mining time. They don't kill too many workers, but again, mining time is denied. Solid damage here from Firefly. Back at home, getting into his own Immortal production. Twilight Council's on the way. Additional gateways. We're keeping up with the production of Lemon. With 2 more gates on the way from Firefly. We do recall back home. And the army is spotted. Firefly had the Zelnaga. He spots the main army. He's getting ready. You have a shield battery on the way with an overcharge. The army is amassing. Observer likewise does spot the main army as well. We can see Firefly being proactive. And just zoning back the force. As Lemon backs off, he's expanding, taking a third base. Likewise, Firefly looking for a way in. Go. To dive into the main, Stalkers are in position. We can punish the Stalkers though. One Stalker goes down, we're going for an Adept warping into the main. And behind this, we have Glaives on the way. 2 more gates. Firefly is going for a 2-base all-in. Nice juggling here out of Firefly. Oh my god, he shuts down the Stalkers! And even without the reinforcements, he's trading well. The Immortals will get the hell out of here. The Adepts, they get into the main base, into the mineral line. 3, 4 more probes going down. Oh, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of control. 6 more probes. And we get 7. Oh, not quite. Meanwhile, the Immortals, they just juggle down to low ground. Getting a pylon. Catching another Immortal. Ooh, they bring it down. And Lemon, he's getting pulled apart. He just cannot keep up. Not with this. As we get another Stalker. And remember, behind this, we have how many gateways? 6. 6 gateways on 2 bases. We have a massive army. We are expanding and taking a third base, but this move out is very committed. Very committed move out here from Firefly. The prison can meet up and we can just reinforce. We can warp in on the front lines. 6 units at a time. And here comes the warp in. Just mass Glaive Adept. And here they come. They're looking to dabble the army. We have sentries, we have force fields. Firefly does rotate around, looking for another way in. And he's just picked Lemon apart already, even before the fight did occur. Nice force fields. Army is cut up. Alas, we rotate over towards the natural. Shield battery goes down. The overcharge, not going to come into play. Oh, these Immortals looking a bit exposed. The Adepts are busy in the mineral line. They get 12 probe kills. But they need to support the main army. There we go, another massive warp in. 6 Adepts at a time. And Firefly does overwhelm. GG gets called. Firefly takes game number 1. GG. Very impressive game there out of Firefly. He was just all over Lemon with the drop play, with the Adept harass, with the initial opener as well. Was all over him. And with that, Firefly takes a lead. But I want to believe we can bounce back. You know, that may have been a bit of a rougher game for Lemon. But here coming into game 2, I'm sure we can take a bit of a breather, take a moment, and settle on in. We shall see as we are getting ready for that second game. Meanwhile, just catching up with the chat. Catching up. Here we go. You can hear the beeps. It looks like game number 2 is going to be on Oceanport. Here we go. Will be a caster area match on the brackets? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. There aren't that many casters to provide coverage, so we're doing our best to cover as much as we can. We're doing our best. But here we go, we're settling in and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our red Protoss player from land of China representing Offside Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lemon. I wonder why Storm has been less popular in PBT. It's been, I would say, rising in popularity for a very, very long time. like Colossus. Like Phoenix Colossus was the meta for a very long time. Nowadays, I would say the PvT has been more diverse. With, you know, Storm play and of course Disruptor play as well. But I think as is being stated in the chat, it does feel very stylistic. Like for example, a player like Creator is a little more fond of High Templar and Storm play, for example. You've got Classic, who's known for rushing into Sky Toss against Terran in PvT. Like he's known for whenever you give him like a moment to breathe, he will throw down like a Fleet Beacon and 2 Stargates and like rush into carriers. Like it does feel like a lot of the Protoss players right now are a little bit stylistic in that way. So the amount of like Storm play that you see in PvT just does kind of depend on who you're casting, who you're watching. At least it feels to be the case. For now, we're selling in. Alright, going to be selling into our PvP. Once again, 2 gate openers. This time, no fake proxy. It is going to be double Adept out of Firefly, and it is going to be a singular Sentry out of Lemon. You can see a Zealot's being made, but the reason why you make the Zealot here is to cancel and to make it look like you're making 2 units. The goal here is to be as greedy as possible. As you can see, very fast expansion. Very greedy play here out of Lemon, going for a single unit opener into the expand. Firefly is aware. Firefly does confirm with the probe. He wasn't able to block just because it was faked out by that, you know, fake building unit. And now the pressure is on Firefly to try to punish the greed of Lemon, as Firefly is going for a Stargate first before expand. Likewise, even a pylon block as well will delay the expansion. Firefly, do we take the unnatural? Natural! We do. Yeah, brutal moment here. So we're forced to expand elsewhere. It's going to be a very exposed base. Lemon will confirm the location of the natural. And we'll see what kind of damage Lemon can get done. Again, this is a position, or this is a scenario that does occur from time to time in PvP. Forced to expand elsewhere. Adepts do shade into the main. 2 probes, 3 probes. Oh my god! 5 probes! And we still have the Adept. And we can still we can still shade in. We shouldn't get much more damage done with only 1 Adept, but very nice damage dealt here already by Firefly, getting 6 probe kills. We had 1 extra here back at home. And we spoke about how we have to punish the greed of Lemon. I mean, we already have. Sure, Lemon has a faster expansion, but Firefly now has the worker lead. And we're not done. Remember, it was a Stargate opener. We still have the Oracle. We still have the Oracle as well. And we're headed for the natural. And just like that, 2 more probes go down. Did I say 2? We get... Oh, bit of a misclick. Bit of miscontrol. Did it focus down those rocks? But 2 probes nonetheless. We have a second Oracle coming in. Second Oracle coming into play. As Lemon is going to be pushing through the southern half. We'll come across the 3rd. Alright, the natural. At the 3rd location. Firefly will be able to defend. He does warp in time. Meanwhile, 2 Oracles can one-shot probes. And we're headed for the main. We will manage to catch 2 more workers. 3 more workers even. 3 workers go down. Throughout the course of this game, looking at the units lost, that's been 11 probe kills. And again, Firefly does have the economic lead. Behind this, working towards the Robo. Here's going to be that Robo follow-up. Once again. The Oracles are being a little bit brave here, but once we get 4 more probes! Just punishing the lack of shield battery, lack of army in position. Ay. What is that, 15? 15 worker kills already. That's an entire mineral line. And Lemon can't really move out. Yeah, he's taking a 3rd. Like we have no pushing power. We have no production behind this. We're expanding, taking a 3rd base. The goal here is to try to contain the red Protoss player, to contain Firefly. And just give ourselves some breathing room. And Lemon is being active. Lemon has potential with force fields. Remember, Firefly does not have blink. So these force fields could slice up the army and we can take a fight. But Lemon doesn't take his chances. He backs off. And what do we see out of Firefly? Just like game number 1, massive gateway explosion. This is once again a 2-base all-in. Firefly, he's got 5 gates on the way, 3 already done. It's going to be an 8-gate setup with glaives and immortal production. Very similar to game 1. Just hyper aggression from Firefly, and it makes sense. Once you cripple the economy of your opponents, you know that Lemon is vulnerable right now. He's vulnerable, replacing all those workers, expanding, trying to catch up economically, investing in his resources in things that aren't his army. As a result, his army is going to be that much smaller, that much weaker, much less complexity in it, and Lemon is vulnerable. Lemon is vulnerable, and we're pushing. Prism's on the way. Main army's moving out. Now, because of the force field potential, Lemon can try to hold on to the ramp. I say that the sentries are further back. They're not with the main army. The army is spotted. Adept's getting caught out. Ooh, but who catches who? Again, we have 8 gateways. I mean, last game it was a 6 gates, 2-base all-in. Here it's 8 gateways, so not much more committed. Last game we also expanded. Here there is no expansion. Here we go. We have Oracles once again into the natural. Firefly diving on the main army. Stutter stepping forward. Would you pop the overcharge? But the Adepts, they shade in. They focus on the shield battery. Shield battery goes out. The Immortals, they go ham. The Prism, a little bit too far out of range, won't be able to save the Immortals. We don't need to. We don't need to save the Immortals. GG. Firefly will snowball out of control and will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Firefly, looking strong here in this series in the quarterfinals. Able to bring down his opponent. Able to take down Lemon at 2-0 in very similar fashions in both games. Able to just out multitask, able to just spread him thin, pull him apart, and just, yeah, just very active style here out of Firefly. Do love to see it. And with that, Firefly does take the win. And now we have to look for our next series. We have to try to figure out where we are headed next. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. If you remember, it was Nice versus Jim. They were mid-series. And oh my god, that series has ended. Let's go. Switching our scenes over here, we have some results coming in, and I was having a hard time calling this, by the way, but we have the results. You can see it right here in front of you. Nice. He takes down Jim 2-0. Impressive. I mean, Nice, we've been featuring a lot of Nice in our own tournaments in Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Nice has been looking quite impressive. He is, I would say, the best player in Taiwan. Is the best player in all of Taiwan. He does surpass, Haas, Rex, Lemon. Like, Nice is typically at the top. And how does he compare to Firefly? I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an ace match. We'll see. We shall see. As we are going to be embracing the semifinals and setting up our players. Nice, I believe he's teamless at the moment. I know he was on Little Fairy for a while, but double checking. Okay, so he's on Little Fairy. Yeah. Is on Little Fairy. And that is going to be our next series, Firefly versus Nice. Again, the PvPs continue. Meanwhile, do we have any other updates? Scrolling on up, we have Jeshi. Jeshi takes down Nanami Chiaki 2-0. Jeshi, of course, Chinese Protoss player, is in the upper semifinals, and Jeshi is waiting patiently for either Lancer, Silky, or Orianna. We are being told by Iceguard that Silky versus Orianna, the ZVT, they're in the ace match. They're in game 3, and they're mid-series, of course. They're mid-series in the ace match. Could go either way. It's hard to say. I think I favor, like, I know Silky has a little more experience. Silky is a little more experienced compared to Orianna, but I'm a bit of an Orianna fan. Like, Orianna does compete in our tournaments and seems like a really nice guy, so cheering for Orianna there. But we'll see. We'll see how they do perform. As I mentioned before, Lancer is going to be the heavy favorites, regardless of who faces off against Lancer, so wish them both the best of luck. Wish them both the best. And if you want to deny, if you want to stop the PvPs, then give your energy, give your support to Silky and Orianna, the non Protoss hope. Stop the pure PvPs, Pappy. Wish them the best. Oh, we just got an update. We just got an update here. It looks like the series did conclude, and I think Orianna. But, we got a result. Orianna has taken down Silky 2-1. Orianna is up against Lancer. The final Zerg player has been eliminated in the tournaments. The non-Protoss hope is a Terran. Orianna up against Lancer in the quarterfinals. We are focusing on the lower semis, but Lancer and Orianna are also about to begin. As a heads up. Catching up. Kelzer maybe 2, but then yeah, Kelzer 2. Causing at the speed of light. Let's go. The community says 11 hours. There you go. Papi. Oh, Ender. Papi chulo. It's the Ender. Maids, why aren't you in the brackets? I just saw you. I just saw you in the chat. Why aren't you playing tonight, Papi? Caviar, Napoleon Marquises acampado. ¿Qué estás haciendo, Papi? For those who don't know, Ender, he is the best player in all of the Philippines. He is a Filipino Zerg player and very talented. Does stream from time to time. It's been a while since I've seen his stream, but is an amazing player. Much love to Ender. Scrolling down. We should ask all the Protoss to off race. True. Lemon would win. Lemon does have a lot of experience playing other races. It's true. I'm getting Korean ZVZ vibes from this. Very chaotic. I mean, it was really cool to see, right? Like, Firefly, he was very active. He was just all over the place with the depth harass, with Oracle harass, with his drop play, with his immortals as well. It was a very entertaining PvP. Very entertaining. Oh, I see Go Joey. Oh my god. Why aren't you in the bracket? What are the I see Ender, I see Go Joey. Aye. Hope you're both doing well. Nice is on Twisted Minds. Twisted Fairy, Little Minds. Nice, he's representing Twisted Fairy, but I think he's on the Little Minds half of Twisted Fairy. From my understanding, mainly I'm going off of Wikipedia. That's why on Wikipedia he is listed as Little Fairy. I guess, you know what, I could just ask him. Pappy, are you on Little Fairy or Twisted Minds? There we go. I'll ask him which one he's on. ask him. You just lost free $5,000. 1 minute lazy clicking checking button. True, true. Silky can be super patient. He can be, Are we playing again every weekend? Let's go. And the return of Ender. And I have confirmation. Nice is on Little Fairy. So I did just ask him for confirmation. He was like, Little Fairy, Pappy. I was like, okay. Yes. Only one player. As I mentioned before, it is brutal. It is really brutal that only one player from this qualifier can make it into the closed qualifier. There are so many amazing players here. Like, we've seen players like Lancer and Nice and Firefly and Jeshi. We've seen them all like take it to the Koreans time and time again. They're all really talented. They're all really strong in their own right. But there's only enough room for one of them. So I do wish them the best. But I guess because our players are taking a little bit of time, we may just go on a short break. Here. Vetoes are still underway. Who's Jim? Is he new? He's older than time. What do you mean? Jim has been around for years, Papi. Jim was the OG. Yo, I have to assume that Senju's trolling me. You're trolling me, Papi. Whenever I cast with Yaku, we always go on Jim rants. For those that don't know, Jim, he was the best player in all of Asia, or in all of China, I should say. Was the best player in all of China. He predates the Big Bang. He does. Okay. We're gonna go on a short break. But yeah, Jim, he used to play for Invictus Gaming back in the day. He was in Korea for a while. He played in Pro League. He played in GSL. There was a period where Jim was arguably one of the best non-Koreans, like one of the foreign hopes even. Arguably, Jim, he definitely had his own heyday and his own prime. This was back in Heart of the Swarm, though. I would have said this is back in like 2015, maybe 2015 era of StarCraft ish, 2014, 2015. It's been a long time, but yeah, it's really cool to see Jim still competing despite that. Nowadays, you know, has been dethroned by Oliveira, and did retire for a while. Jim retired for a couple of years and recently came back, and it was really cool to see Jim's return after being away for so long. And when he came back, me and Yaku and I, we were very excited. We're big Jim fans. But we're going to go on a short break. We'll see you guys soon in a couple of minutes. Once we return, we'll have Firefly versus Nice. Take this moment to get some water, get some food, get some snacks, and get ready for a night of StarCraft. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Esports World Cup 2024 Asia Open Qualifier. The semi-finals are here. They have arrived. We're jumping into the swing of things here. We're jumping into game one, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Nice. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Offside Esports from land of China. It is Firefly. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions, they will now open up. It's been a while since we've had our predictions, but let me just quickly set that up, as this is a best of 3. I almost typed Jim. There was like a Jim conversation in the chat. Jim is on the mind. But if you're in the chat, predictions are open, so place your bets on who you believe is going to make it to the grand finals. Is it going to be one Protoss or the other, Firefly or Nice? Predictions open. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. As for now, we're settling in. We're going to be settling in. It's going to be a 2-gate opener here out of Firefly. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Nice as well. Everything's looking as it should for the time being. And it looks like we have no setup for a proxy pylon, so our second pylon should be thrown down in the main base for both players. There we go. This is the second pylon for Nice. Likewise, we have the second pylon for Firefly. So no one is going for a proxy, and no one is faking a proxy either. So for the time being, everything is looking as it should. For the time being, everything is looking standard. Everything's looking normal. From here, we're going to be getting into our initial units of choice. It's going to be double Stalker out of Firefly. Likewise, double Stalker out of Nice as well. So far, we are mirroring each other. Our probes are trying to get a delay on the expansions and trying to get a read on what units come out, whether it's Sentry-based, Adept-based, or Stalker-based. As some openers are more aggressive than others. With our initial Stalkers, we can be more assertive across the map and move out. As our Stalkers have arrived, Nice going for his tech of choice, going for a Stargate in the main. Stargate has been thrown down. Meanwhile, Firefly instead opting to go for a 3rd and 4th Stalker. You can see that Nice delayed his 3rd and 4th unit of choice. So he's going to be down in Stalkers. And Firefly will expand. The upside for Nice is going to be Oracle production. And Oracle is going to be to harass across the map and get economic damage done. So more harassment based here by Nice. Meanwhile, Firefly moving out with his army. Does have that Stalker lead. And does shoot barely first. Oh my god! Ooh. Trades 1-to-1. And it does trade a little bit better here as well. It's going to be forced back, but we have reinforcements on the way. 2 more Stalkers welding across the map. For the time being, Nice is holding, and the shield battery will finish. Will finish up. Stalkers have arrived. Energy being spent. And we're going to be zoning this away. The shield battery already out of energy at this point. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. Stalkers are going down. We came to the production. And we body blocked the Stalker as well. It's out of range. Out of range of the shield battery. Oh, just barely does get in. Stalker gets a full scout. We get an eye on the tech of choice. Oracle forced to spend its energy. And we see everything. Firefly's fully aware. Back at home, we already have a shield battery in position. Stalkers are warping in. And we even opened up with a Robo. Okay, interesting. Have our Robo as our tech of choice. War Prism is going to be harassed across the map. This should be for Adepts to get into mineral lines, to get economic damage done. Meanwhile, the Oracle is headed for the main bases. But again, we have a shield battery, we have Stalkers. Firefly is ready for this, and the Observer does spot the Oracle. Meanwhile, we are not in position to deny the shade. Adepts a shade into the main base. Damage is being done. We get 2 more. We get 1 probe already. We get 2. Up. Almost a 3rd. 2 probes for now. Meanwhile, that 1 Oracle is soon to be joined by a 2nd. Second Oracle has arrived. Firefly getting across the map as well. Does deny mining time. Oracle doesn't make it in. Not yet. As Firefly is holding. And as the dust does settle, Nice does have a worker lead. 37 probes to the 32 of his opponent. Able to kill an extra worker. Able to deny mining time. Outside of that, Nice pulling back. And Firefly is going to be the first to expand. Now, we're expanding in different locations. Nice is taking the linear third base. It's very secure, or I say very secure, much more secure than the third that we've taken from Firefly. Reasoning for this is you have to break down rocks or mine through mineral patches. I say that with the War Prism and with Blink Stalkers, we can try to bypass that, of course. So the terrain isn't as effective here in a PvP matchup as it would be in other matchups. Dipping in. Nice did not expand, by the way. I assumed he would, but Nice is not expanding. What do we see instead? We have a gateway explosion. That's 6 gates on the way, 2 gates already done. That is an 8-gate 2-base all in, and Nice is gonna send it with charge lots. Not with Glaive Adepts, not with Blink Stalkers, but charge lots instead. Charge is done, and we're waiting for that warp in. Now we are expanding, we are taking a third, but we have so much production available here. We have so much potential for Mass Zealot. Temple Archives on the way, for Archon production as well. Meanwhile, back at home, Firefly taking his economic lead, getting to his third, and building up towards Blink Stalkers. Now, the Observer does confirm the mass amount of gateways. War Prism is on the way. We shut down the Observer. Firefly did see all the production and the tech. Firefly is aware. And that's shield batteries. Firefly, after seeing all of this, mate, we throw down as many shield batteries as we can. We have, there we go, more shield batteries on the way. Firefly knows he's in trouble. Uh-oh. Firefly is in trouble. We need time. We need those shield batteries. We need the overcharge. Now Firefly warping in. Nice, likewise reinforcing. Being on the right hand side. Warping the wave of Stalkers. Sorry, Zealot even. And I appreciate the Firefly is walling up. He's completely walling up here, up for the most part. Getting his SimCity going. Firefly trying to get ready here. Again, there is a little micro potential for Firefly with Blink. He has a +1 advantage as well. And force the Blink back. Shield batteries will help support. Stage traps being thrown down. Do focus on the stasis traps. Overcharge is popped. But the Zealots, they zone away the army. And we're zoned away from the shield batteries. Yeah, Stalkers are going down. We have control of the third base. Firefly can blink up into the main. Nice control. Nice movement. But the mineral line is exposed. Probes are going down. Up. Oh my god. We barely do escape. The probes are saved. Nice snipe on the prism. Nice snipe on the war prism, but last we can, yeah, we can get out of here. We get a kill in the Nexus. The damage has been done. And now it's triggering a counterattack. And honestly, I'm really impressed. Like, Firefly, he preserved so many Stalkers. He kept them alive, and sure, we killed a base, that's true, but Nice split out so many Zealots in the process. What do we have left? We have 3 Archons. We have Zealots, sure. So far, we're kiting well. The Immortal has arrived. It does change things. And yeah, this is what we spoke about. We can blink over the mineral lines, we can blink over the rocks, and we can hit the third. Third is gonna go down. No, we don't care about your terrain. We don't care about your map, Crimson Court. We can blink. Across the map, Oracles do threaten the mineral line. They get 7 probe kills. Or 5 probes even. And as the dust does settle, Firefly does still maintain his economic lead. 46 probes to the 37 of Nice, and Nice has no third. Not anymore. No third base for Nice. He's becoming more and more all in. And he's got an army to work with, to be fair. It's quite an army. That's 6 Archons. But Stalkers, they can micro against them. Zealots, they're able to shave off some Stalkers here and there, but nothing too major. It's Firefly, CranKy back. Behind this is going to be reinforcing. We have +2 on the way. Again, Nice has no longevity. There's no forge. There's no upgrades. We're going into a Dark Shrine. A bit of a desperation move here out of Nice. But the longer this goes on, the better it becomes for Firefly. And we have to go. We have to send it. Like, we can't just bide our time here. Meanwhile, across the map, we get Zealots, slow lots even into the main. Nice moving out. Forces back Firefly. We do have a concave. We do have the overcharge. Yeah, Firefly's in position and looking to overwhelm. Again, so careful play earlier from Firefly to just like kite back and dance around his third base earlier. It gets a charge timing, and GG gets called. It just shuts down this main push, and Firefly takes a 1-0 lead. GG. GG. Very impressive defense out of Firefly. Just really collected, like, really calm and collected play out of him. When we saw the mass, like, swarm toss of Nice arrive at the third base, and we were able to zone Firefly away from the shield batteries to force him back into the mineral line, like, things are looking a little bit dire. Things were looking a little bit dire there for Firefly. I was concerned that he was going to lose too much, and he did lose the Nexus, but he saved all of his workers, and he was able to just kite and trade very efficiently with his Stalkers, able to pull back to the high ground, able to minimize his losses, pick away at the Zealots, and able to counterattack as well. And that counterattack was that much more important. If you remember, we didn't just pick away at the Zealots, we also picked off the third base, and ensured that Nice had no way to recover economically. No way to recover it. GG. GG, well played. With that, Firefly does take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Getting that second game here. We're going to be loading into Ghost River. Ooh, one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Very aggressive here. A very aggressive map in Ghost River. And who's going to be the first to take advantage of it? That's the question. Who's going for the 1 base all-in? We just had a 2 base all-in at a Nice, but I want 1 base. That's what I want. I'm an animal. Let's go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our Taiwanese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Nice. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player from land of China, representing Offside Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Firefly. I can't believe my eyes. 10,000 Fireflies. Beautiful. It was Jim, not the aliens, that built the pyramids. He is that old. It's true, it's true. Jim, he built them by himself as well, on his own. Lancer's up 1-0 versus Oriana. Thank you for the updates. I believe Saber is covering Lancer versus Oriana. I think Saber's casting on Doyu. I'm not too sure as to Saber's platform. So I scored the chat. You know that since MaxX declined and Hero Marine took the EU slot to the main event, Saudis are quickly building a single palace to be able to accommodate Gabe. That is facts. True. True. That is where Gabe is staying. They have constructed a shrine in the name of Gabe. Oh no. We're just going to update. Lancer took down Oriana 2-0. Lancer versus Jeshi starting on Sabers. If they don't want to wait. Yeah, all good, all good. They can start, Pappy. They can start. For sure. But you know what that means. Sorry, I kind of glossed over it. But if Lancer took down Oriana, that means there's only Protoss. No more Terra, no more Zerg. The game is balanced. Only PvP. Let's go. Who will be our representative for the Asia region? Nice. Firefly, Lancer, or Jeshi. There can be only one. For now, 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener here out of Firefly. 2-gate opener out of Nice. Our probes are being very active on the map. We can see that that's why. Nice did hide one of his pylons here towards the right-hand side. So Firefly is looking. He's checking for the pylon. We see that it looks like this pylon here is the third pylon. So the second pylon was hidden. And Firefly is taking this very seriously, looking for the proxy. We can see that it's a fake proxy, but Firefly was just making sure. Meanwhile, is pushing up the ramp. Ooh, does get the first shot up. Yeah, Firefly bleeds off a probe. But he does come out ahead in the Stalker battle. Has to pull back at the same time across the map. Probe is being shut down, and Robo's on the way. It looks like a safe opener here to Firefly. Because of the fake proxy, Firefly believed it was real, so he went for the Robo before expand. It's a very safe play. Robo gives us access to immortal production. If it was a proxy Robo or proxy gateway, then Firefly would have the means to defend. And we can turn this defense into an offense. Now we can go for a War Prism instead of an Immortal. And with the help of the War Prism, we can harass across the map and get economic damage done. Speaking of economic damage, we see Nice going for the Stargate. We've seen that Nice has been quite fond of Oracle play throughout this series, with mixed success. So we'll see how he can make use of this Oracle production. Stalkers are moving out. Nice moving out, looking to hit that natural. As Firefly will have the means to defend as well. We have Stalkers, we have Sentries. We force a cancel on the shield battery. Firefly will hold the line. This is interesting. So it's going to be a Stargate opener into a Robo for Nice. Okay, you have my attention. No one base all-ins, unfortunately. But Firefly has begun immortal production. Not the War Prism. Firefly rechecking the main with the hallucination. Does get eyes on the Robo. I imagine doesn't want to fall behind in that immortal production either. So it is going to be investing into these early immortals. Meanwhile, Nice going Phoenix. Okay. Interesting. He's going into the Phoenixes. I mean, they are a nice way to pick away at some of these high-tech units, like whether it's Disruptor, Immortal, even just to harass across the map. They can be a nice addition. As Firefly with a hallucination will finally come across the pylon. Does finally scout and confirm the pylon location. Third base is being taken. Nice is moving out. I believe he has eyes on the third. It's on Nice to apply pressure and to maybe even force a cancel. Let's see if we can. As the Stalkers move in, we have the Oracles poised to head into the natural. So really this is just designed to distract Firefly, and he does respond! He responds, and that does create an opening. We head into the mineral line. 3, 4 probes go down, 5 probes even. 5 probe kills. At the same time, Nice pulling back. Honestly, some really nice damage. No pun intended. A good start, and with that, Nice does take the economic lead. Pulling back and settling into his own third. Third base, building up towards charge, immortal production. Charge up to immortals, Archons as well. A similar composition as what we saw in the previous game, except, of course, Nice is not going all in. Likewise, from the side of Firefly, is investing into a heavier Blinkstalker composition instead. Something that I'm interested by here is that Nice hasn't gone for a Forge. No Forge, no +1, no upgrades. No upgrades here for Nice. Just building up our army, getting to our 3-base economy, and just calming things down. You know, despite how aggressive this map could be, and we did have a lot of posturing, did have a lot of maneuvering, both players are headed into the mid game. We're just calming things down, getting to our 3-base economies, working towards, you know, Blink Stalkers, Charge Lots, Immortals. We're building up. Nice is the first to move out, and it does make sense for Nice to be more aggressive. I mentioned before, Nice has no Forge. He has no, or is falling further and further behind in the upgrades. Nice is not as set up for a longer game, and yeah, we're doubling down. Here come the reinforcements. With the nice force fields, though. Yeah, we do force back those Immortals. Overcharge is popped. Nice lift here with the Phoenix. The Immortal gets shut down, and we are breaking through. Yeah, Stasis Trap connects, but we have reinforced another shield, but he does finish up. Yeah, just in time. We have a shield, we have our overcharge, but it's purely Blink Stalker. Can Firefly hold? Is kiting back nicely. But the backline here, the Immortals, the Archons. Can we ever really get on top of this? We are running out of Zealots. Zealots are being cleaned up. We're coming in for a flank. We have the Concave. And with all these swords, we can focus on the Immortals one after the other. One goes down. Second goes down. There's one left. There is 0 left. We get every single Immortal. Not enough charge loss. Not enough support. Once again, just very clean micro here and clean movements out of Firefly. GG gets cold. He just shuts down the push, and Firefly will take the series at 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Fireflies that has advanced on into those finals. My condolences to Nice. He had a much stronger start to this game. He was able to settle into his own 3-base play, and it was all in. I mentioned at the time, but we were lacking really any upgrades behind it. It was very committed play out of Nice. It was one and done. One and done there, and congratulations. Firefly does survive the push, does survive the aggression. Again, he was just really calmly able to kite back. He had extra shield when he was finishing up. He was able to maintain his overcharge as well, and initially deal with all the Zealots, and then collapse on top of those Immortals as well. Just a really systematic play, or systematic execution there from Firefly. GG, well played. GG, well played. Firefly is going to be our first finalist tonight, and who will join him? Who will face off against Firefly? It's going to be either Lancer or Jeshi. Which one? We'll find out. Now, apparently they're in game 1, so Lancer and Jeshi have already begun their series, but we're going to be jumping into game 2. We will be jumping into game number 2, so once they're ready, we can join and we'll try to catch up. As I do need a moment here to set up their teams and to get everything ready. This is also where it's going to become a lot more difficult to distinguish our players, or to call clear favorites. I'm a big fan of Firefly, but if you remember, the last time that we had a big series between Firefly and Lancer, it was in the Asia qualifiers of Stars War 11. We did cast the Asia qualifiers. This was a couple of months ago. This was like back in April, if I remember correctly, back in April. And it went all the way to the ace match. I think it went all the way to game 7. Went all the way to game 7 between Firefly and Lancer. Let's have a look here. Stars War 11. Asia qualifiers. Yes, it went all the way to game 7, and it barely went in favor of Firefly. It was a 4-3 win for Firefly. I do recommend watching the VODs. That was a wild series between Firefly and Lancer. At the time, it was called Cyan, and it went all the way to game 7, went all the way to the ace match, and Firefly did barely come out on top. And it goes to show, just even though Firefly is an amazing player, it shows that Lancer is quite comparable to Firefly as well. Is quite comparable in skill, and they do go back and forth. Likewise, Jeshi is no slouch either. Jeshi can also threaten both of these players as well. So it is not set in stone. That's what I'm trying to say. Not set in stone. But let us switch our scenes over and have a look at that bracket. I guess we have no kind of major updates here. Just trying to catch up. As we mentioned before, Lancer took down Oriana 2-0, so Lancer is up against Jeshi in the semifinals. Jeshi took down Nanami. And we are kind of nearing the tail end of the broadcast. I guess we have 2 series left. We have the semis and the grand finals. 2 series remaining. As a reminder, only one of these players will advance on into those closed qualifiers. Only one. Firefly deserves to be at every major. He looks as good as Max. Oh, calm down, calm down. I'll always remember though. I'm sure many people watching right now were here at the time when we were casting ESL Open Cup Americas. This was back in. Was it pre-IM Katowice? No. Oh, maybe. I think it was. I think it was pre-IM Katowice. So it would have been like January of this year. So a couple of months ago at this point. But we casted ESL Open Cup Americas, and Firefly made it all the way to the finals. Fun fact, Firefly went up against Max Pax in those finals. I casted with Chicken Man at the time, and it went all the way to the ace match as well. Went all the way to game 5, and Max Pax was playing scared. He was definitely flustered playing against Firefly because of his style, because of his aggression. Firefly able to take a lead even against Max Pax, and eventually went back and forth and went all the way to game 5. It was really cool and really impressive. I saw someone said he lacks consistency. I don't know if I would say that. I think the Firefly consistently does defeat top Protoss players. I feel like PvP is like Firefly's best matchup. I think I can say that confidently, that his best matchup is PvP, and he's no stranger to bringing down or taking maps off of Max Pax and Hero and Classic and all these other big names. I do think that Firefly's weakest matchup is PvZ. He has some cheeky builds. He has some very aggressive styles in PvZ that we have seen when he plays against players like Solar and DRG. We have seen that. But I do think that his PvZ is the matchup that he needs to work on the most. His PvT, it looks interesting. We've seen him rise and fall in that matchup, and yeah, it's definitely matchups that he has to work on a little bit more so. Definitely. But yeah, PvZ seems to be like his biggest weak point currently. Reminds me a lot of Nightmare, actually. Nightmare is very similar, where I would say more than anything, Nightmare's PvZ is holding him back the most. Go. What was the answer? Cyan? Yeah. Cyan. Cyan. Yeah, I always remember that when Shin name changed from Ragnarok, even a year later, people were asking, "Who's Shin? Who's?" So, it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure it's gonna take a while for the adjustment to really sink in, and for people to become accustomed to a name change like that. It's always hard, right? It's always hard trying to set in stone a name change after being known for a certain name for so long. Like, it took me a long time to get used to Special, I'll be honest, like, because I'd known Special as Major for many years, for more years than he's been Special. I've known him as a Major, so it took a while for that to really kind of sink in. It took a while for Wayne as well, called him Vanya for a long time. It took a long time for Radita to sink in, because we still called him Vanya even when it was Radita. So that took a while. Who's another one? Who's another big one? Forte. Forte was known as Salvation for a long time, and it always felt weird saying Forte. Lasira, right? We called him Kangho for a while. That was back in like the GSTO days, and then switched to Lasira. Was it Panic? What was Panic's ID? Am I thinking of Panic? Panic Liquipedia. I think it was Startail Panic. No, I'm thinking of someone else. Where am I? Blade, that's a I remember this name change. So there was a Korean player that was on Startail back in the day. It was a Korean Protoss called Panic, and he name changed to Blaze, and that never stuck with me. I couldn't accept it. I even forgot what he was called. Like I even just now called him Panic because I forgot what he name changed to. He name changed to Blaze. That never stuck. That never stuck. It's hard to go through a name change like that. It took a while for Oliveira. For a long time we called him Time. That's of course that's the biggest one, right? For a very long time, it took a while for the Oliveira to sink in and to switch. No longer Time. Yeah, one slot left in the Americas. Yeah. Special, Kelazur, Scarlet, Trigger. I would definitely put Future in there. Future, when Future is in form, he can definitely threaten the hierarchy of the Americas region. Epic has been looking quite impressive as of late. Dolan, of course, the Danger Dolan himself. Eric. Spirit Soul, yeah, true. That took a while. True. Tilia, I still call them Knights after they changed to Tilia. I see. It's hard when you like know them as a certain name for so long, right? And it can be jarring to call them something else. But you know, eventually it works, right? Like, like most of the names that I mentioned, like, you know, we now call Juanito Special, we now call Time Oliveira. We call Wayne. Like Wayne, I feel like it was easier to switch from Rattata to Wayne than it was from Vanya to Rattata. like Wayne is more like my brain can accept Wayne a lot more. Blue Ming to Oriana, right? True. But here we go. We're getting into our next semifinals, and oh right, I didn't even pay out the last one. My apologies. Hold on. We're jumping in mid-series. We're jumping to game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Jeshi. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lancer. You need to still call Puck? No. I think for all the name changes, like I've like adapted or acclimated and like accepted them. It just, you know, takes a while. For that transition to occur. Like in my mind, Nina's Nina, Special, Wayne's Wayne, all that stuff. You mean Vanya Raditz away? I'm waiting for the 4 name change. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting. I know. At this point, I expect it. The player currently known as Wayne, soon to be formally known as Wayne. Hi. Esther Wayne. For now, 2-gate opener. And yeah, we're jumping in mid-series. We missed out on game 1, unfortunately. Did miss out on game 1. But so far is going to be Jeshi with the lead. Impressive stuff. And I did mention before that even though Lancer has been, on paper, achieving a lot more, Jeshi can always threaten both Lancer and Firefly. There's a reason why whenever I talk about the kind of like the triad of Protoss in China, I always bring up Jeshi as well. I say Firefly, Jeshi, and Cyan, or at least now Lancer. Do always bring them up. We'll see how we can approach this. See how we can bounce back. So now it is going to be a double adept opener, followed by a third and fourth adepts. Quite aggressive here at the Lancer. Going to be doubling down and sending out as many adepts as we can. With this, we can double down and go into a fifth and sixth adept as well. The goal here is to get economic damage done. And the purpose of building up additional adepts like this is that you can break through the initial pylon block or the shield battery block. The initial pylon or building can be powered down. You can break through that with additional adepts. The one singular building is not going to be good enough. And there it is. We are making additional deaths behind this. So hyper aggression here out of Lancer. Behind this, we are expanding. He has like 10. Who's the player that name changed the most? That's Juanito. Easily. Juanito was Princess for a while, was Light, was Wingy. Yeah. Oh my god. I was like, we're gonna get up to 6. We have 8 adepts. My oh my. We just double down on the mass adept. Lancer shading in towards the natural base. Threading a shade into the main. And, oh, we don't quite commit yet. I'm loving the hallucinations out of Jeshi. Does make it look like his army is larger than it really is. Lancer being careful. Doesn't commit yet. Behind this we have a blink opener. Twilight Council with the blink. Likewise behind this, Twilight Council also on the way for our blue Protoss. For Lancer. Jeshi will have a window though, he'll have a timing. He has blink over his opponent. And so far he's doing well. So far he's holding on, does wall off with a gateway instead. And these Eps have not achieved too much. Not yet. So we do shut down the Adepts across the map. So far, Lancer's holding his own, and at least he does maintain all these Adepts. Sure, he hasn't traded with them, he hasn't dealt any economic damage, but soon I'm sure we will, as we have the War Prism on the way. I don't know if you saw for a moment, we had Glaives in production, which was crazy, but no, now we're working towards Blink. Both Lancer and Jeshi. The Adepts are keeping Jeshi busy. He's attempting to hunt them down. Stalkers are out of position. Do we commit? Up! We will! Yeah, we commit to the shade. The first sentry goes down, and the second. Nice force field. We do slow down the army. But last, we're going for the mineral line nonetheless. Probes are falling. And we have to count. So far, 5. 5 probes full. Shading to the third. Base has been taken. Likewise, at the same time, Adepts. Oh, shut down in the main. Not able to get any counter damage. And Lancer does take an economic lead. But Jeshi has the Stalkers. Blink is done. We're able to move out. And we cannot try to punish this. Oh, as the Stalkers, they barely miss the Prism. War Prism does slip by. Jeshi is going to be hitting the third, but Lancer, for the most part, we have what we need. Yeah, we even hallucinate the Immortal. We hold the line. Jeshi pushing forward. Has zoned away. Again, the army looking more terrifying than it is. Meanwhile, across the map, War Prism does slip into the mineral line. Yeah, we killed 5 probes earlier, and now we're getting even more damage done. And getting up to 9, getting up to 10, 11! 11 probes, 12! Okay, it looks like can we get 13? We can. 13, 14. Ugh. Almost 15 workers full. And with that, Lancer takes a massive economic lead. And now the pressure's on. The pressure is now on Jeshi to fight back. As we bleed out, yeah, 15 workers. And charge lots. Now the immortal count is real. We have actual immortals here at the third. We're able to hold our own. Additional shield batteries on the way. We have the overcharge as well. Lancer is amassing his army. At the same time, Jeshi going for a massive warp into the main. It's a lot of charge lots. Nice hold position here with the probes. They are on hold position. At the same time, Jeshi pushing towards the third base, but we have our shield batteries and our immortals. Zealots are doing well for themselves. And we could try and go for another warp in. Another big warp into the main. There's no shield battery. The immortal's under threat. The immortal's going to go down. Massive pick of Jeshi. Snowballing out of control. He's getting a lot done in the main base. Lancer refusing to back off. Having a hard time dealing with all these zealots. At the same time, we hit the third. We pull the trigger. Lancer getting pulled apart. Shield battery barely goes down. Zealots are still in the main. Stalkers are struggling. The Prism, oh no! One more shot! Ooh, barely goes down. The final shot. The Zealots should be cleaned up. And Jeshi, it looks like, yeah, without the War Prism, not going to be able to reinforce. I say that, these Zealots are still getting more done. Do we get another Immortal? That's 2 Immortals. 2 Immortals go down. Ay, ay, ay. Back at home, we're expanding. We're just taking a 4th base. Jeshi's calming down. He's dealt enough damage. I say that still slightly behind in workers, but we've done well for ourselves. We just make sure there is no expansion, there's no 4th. That was a 12 probe kills, 2 immortals, 10 stalkers, an insane amount of damage. Again, Lancer didn't take it seriously enough. Was like, oh yeah, it's just a couple of zealots, it's okay. And then everything catches fire. It's like, it's okay. Oh, the cope. A little bit too much cope there, and I mean, at least we did hold on to the third. We refused to move the immortals and the sentries, but still a surprising amount of damage dealt there by Jeshi. Now he's coming with another prism. This time we have stalkers lying in wait. Are lying in wait. And we're going right for the prism. Strong reactive warping as well. Jeshi now with Zealots can actually threaten the third. Zealots are distracted. A pylon goes down. Jeshi still threatening the third base. Doesn't commit. We have 2 immortals. Don't have that many zealots. And we're just waiting for reinforcements. Archons, more charge lots. Warprism could always try to sneak in. But we could just be waiting too long. Now we have our own Archons to defend. And there we go. We collapse on the 4th base before force to cancel. Not bad. We deny the 4th. Still relying on a heavy Zealot composition. And very few Archons, just the 1 for Jeshi. Just the 1 Archon. Oh, there we go. 2nd Archon has arrived. Ensuring there is no expansion. We cleaned up the pylons. Lancer falling further and further behind in that supply. Now, the scary thing here, even though Jeshi is going to be the first to max out, if we push into this 3rd location, we're pushing into 4 shield batteries. And a cannon and an overcharge. As well as defender's advantage, like faster reinforcements. So it's not so easy making that decision to just commit in, even if you are ahead in supply. So she's just waiting for the opportune moment. Likewise, Lancer expanding towards the right-hand side. This rotation should confirm that. Lancer does engage. Nice force fields. We catch a good amount of zealots. But at the same time, Jeshi does hit the expansion. Lancer across the map, denying the 5th. That will force Jeshi to respond. Okay, he's racing back home. War Prism is forced to recall. Does get away. Getting back to the main. Up to the 3rd. Jeshi is maxed. We have the Bay on the way for disruptors. We could go one of two ways, either the Robotics Bay or even Stargates for Skytos. I'm all for disruptors. Could do with the second Robo. At the same time, that's a lot of Archons here for Lancer. He's got 4 Immortals, he's got 5 Archons, and Jeshi relying on mass Zealots. Lancer does have the superior army here. At this stage, at this point, the soup does lie, where Jeshi has a larger army, but Lancer has a more efficient army. With so many Archons. Jeshi does outposition though, he's going for the mineral line! Yeah, Lancer not where he needs to be. As I say that, Jeshi doesn't commit in. Trying to engage off a creep, does blink forward. Going for the Archons, good juggling here out of Lancer. But is it going to be enough? Additional Archons have arrived. We collapse on top of the Immortals. And we do shut them down. The juggling, though. Oh, my God. And you can see Jeshi plummet in supply. We spoke about it. The soup pack. It's lying to us. Yeah, the Stalkers they left behind, they're going to be completely cleaned up. And Lancer is looking to make a series out of this. We're looking to fight back. We took a massive trade, a massive fight. We deny the 5th once again. Getting into our 4th. And now we can counterattack. Now we can push. We don't want to allow Jeshi to recover. Let's see. Oh, as we might be we're good on our part. Oh, as we do hit the natural again, Jeshi out of position. Disruptors have arrived. Nova's going to be going up. First one doesn't connect. We have 2 more. We take down a Sentry and we take down an Archon. But last Lancer, he's overwhelming Jeshi, is breaking through. We take down the Archons one after the other, and Jeshi just cannot keep up, not with this army. Again, the Immortals, they held their own. And Disruptors, they have a lot of potential, and they will connect. Good connections. Jeshi, can we survive this? Another Nova. Ooh. Massive connection on the Immortals. Charge-ons are coming in, and Jeshi, we're holding on. The defense. We barely are holding. We get on top of the Immortals one after the other. The Zealots, they clean them up. And Jeshi survives. We survive on 3 bases. We lost the natural, everything at the natural base. We saved the 3rd, the 4th. We have an economy. Lancer behind this, though, is on a clean 4-base setup. And can rebuild. Time is on Lancer's side here. The longer this goes on, the better it is for the Blue Protoss. And Jeshi, we have to send it here and now, but alas, we just don't have enough. Not with these Zealots coming in from Lancer. Taking another base. Getting a 6th. Is on the way. Jeshi pulling back. I mean, hey, there's still potential in these disruptors. True. What makes the magic happen? Yeah, as we just focus on the first disruptor, Nova goes off, connects with Zealots of all things, which isn't too important. The Archons do so much in the backline. We focus on the Prism, we focus on the Disruptor as well, and we're just picking Jeshi's army apart. He just cannot keep up. He's being outscaled. And Lancer coming in for the kill. I say that we do have a Colossus. We shut down the Prism. Not bad. Not a bad pickup. Lancer should still have enough, but is going to be respecting the shield by having the overcharge. Does respect this position. Waits for reinforcements. We have 2 more Archons. Lancer could still commit. Is up on upgrades. Has shields on top of +3. And just wants to secure himself. Jeshi taking another base. Taking a 4th, I guess. A fresh mining base. And Lancer's still playing it out slow. Still playing it out safe. Don't think he's fully aware of just how ahead he is. Doesn't want to throw it away. I mean, it's been a very tense game. Very back and forth. We saw earlier that Lancer almost lost his entire army. So I can understand Lancer being a little bit tentative, but he gets eyes on the expansion and he will rotate, and all that Lancer needs to do is just deny the base. Deny the expansion time and time again. Make sure that Jeshi doesn't get another Nexus. And we're going for a base trade. We're going to be trading bases. The problem here is that Lancer can afford to lose a base. Jeshi cannot. As we collapse on the 4th. The 4th will fall. Jeshi goes for the 6th. We'll take down the Nexus, and now we get down to the final mining base for Jeshi. It all comes down to this. Jeshi turns back around, racing back home. And even if the Nova connects, even if we get the juiciest connection, it's still not going to be enough. And hey, it's not bad. Not a bad connection. But Lancer has too much. GG gets called, and Lancer fights back, forcing the ace match. GG. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game number 3. It all ends here. It all ends in our next map. All end in our next map. And this can still go either way. Looks like it's going to be Golden Aura. Oh. Looks like it is going to be Golden Aura. And I think we're going to be joined by some of the other casters. Yeah. We have Glide, we have Saber, of course, as well. Joining in. And it all ends on a Golden Aura. As a reminder, the winner of the series goes up against Firefly in the finals. Catching up in the chat. Archons destroyed Zealots, they do. They do. There's a reason why, like, in the dynamic of PvP, you start off with, like, Blink Stalker versus Blink Stalker, then you get into Zealots, because Chargers, they trade so well against Stalkers and Immortals, just because of the slow attack rate of the Stalker. So it forces out Archons, then Archons melt Zealots, and then you can get into Immortals. Immortals and Disruptors. Like, yeah, the progression of the tech tree of PvP. If we can get there. Go. So it looks like we just had to remake the lobby, but we do have it. We do have our lobby, and we are ready to jump in. So I'm just catching up with the chat. Catching up. Closed qualifier will be brutal for everyone. It will be. It will be. It's going to be a very intense closed qualifier. What time will the America's qualifier be? Just under 10 hours, yeah. Just under 10 hours. The plan is right after this cast. Oh my god. As we need to tighten things up a little bit here. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lancer. Just stacking the pros for a moment there by accident, and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player representing Weibo Gaming. It is Jeshi. But the plan is going to be after after the Esports World Cup Asia qualifier, I'm going to bed. I'm going to try and force myself to sleep, and I'll try to nap for a couple of hours. Oh, so we do have a pause. Hopefully everything is okay. Could be related to the earlier mishap that we had. So if there's any issues, we're more than happy to just to wait it out or even regame if need be. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I'll try to nap and then I'll wake up in 10 hours time, or in like 4 or 5 hours. Hopefully, you know, well rested and ready to cast some American StarCraft. After the America's qualifier, I believe is going to be KSL. Like KSL is like a couple of hours later. So from one broadcast right into the other, it's gonna be a long day. Aye. I probably won't have enough time to nap in between KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, and the America's qualifier.
Game resumed.
Oh, as it looks like we have resolved any issues. We're good. I'm not too sure what was going on, but we have agreed to continue. And we will be calming things down, getting to our openers. Looks to be double gate opener here out of both Lancer and Jeshi, as we settle into the ace match. Japan, so it's 7 a.m. Yeah. I think here in Australia it's at 8 a.m. Let me just double check. Let me double check our calendar. For me, it's going to be at 8 a.m. in the morning. 8 a.m. Oh, okay. Oh, yo, shout out to Saber. I was like, what's going on? Having issues with his mouse. Okay. So it looks like Lancer was having some mouse issues, which could have been as to why we saw the stacking earlier. Meanwhile, speaking of Lancer, going for a hidden fake proxy pylon. Okay. Second pylon has been hidden. Jeshi does confirm that. Jeshi is fully aware that, of course, pylon is missing, nor where it should be. And should be fanning out some probes in search of that proxy to get a read of what's going on. Until then, Jeshi forced out of the main, back across the map. Jeshi is checking. We mentioned it earlier, but there we go. A second probe is sent out. Is checking the third base location. And we're going for a Stargate opener for Jeshi. We delay our expansion, going for a Stargate. This is going to be for Oracle production to harass across the map. And likewise, Jeshi is still on the hunt. We fan out our Stalkers towards the bottom left, probe towards the top right. Eventually, we should get eyes on... We're going for the Zelnaga here, so it looks like we won't find this, but eventually we'll realize that, you know, nothing's really amiss, and Lancer is expanding. The Stalkers will confirm. They'll be able to get eyes on this and confirm that there is no one base all in, there is no proxy. There we go, the next is spotted. Technically, it could be a proxy Stargate, true. Could be a Stargate proxy. As Lancer, it does, as Jeshi does check top right, but doesn't keep going. Doesn't find the pylon. With the Hallucination Scout, Lancer confirms the Stargate opener. Does confirm the Oracle as well. So Lancer is fully aware, and back at home, Shield Battery gets thrown down. For those that are curious, Shield Battery does out-heal the DPS output of a singular Oracle, at least for the most part. Eventually, the Oracle can break through, but it does take quite some time. So the Shield Battery does a great job of just buying time to warp in or to respond with your forces. At least against one Oracle. Speaking of, we're in position. Oof. Massive hits, and we barely escape. But a big overextension by Jeshi. Almost does lose the first Oracle and is not making a second. We're going for a Dark Shrine. Okay. Bold move. Meanwhile, the pylon has been found, finally, and Jeshi will shut it down. We'll clean up the pylon. And likewise is embracing Blink and the Invisible Man. Now, this is a dynamic in PvP. There is a chance, if Lancer is too greedy, if Lancer goes for a third Nexus before Robo, then we're in trouble, because we have zero detection. And I'm hoping that we're going to throw down a Robo moment. There we go. Okay, Robo is on the way. We don't be too greedy. We don't expand yet. And now we have access to an Observer. We can hold, we can survive. You know, we've seen many a strong Protoss player. We've seen Max Packs just instantly GG. We've seen Hero GG and Classic as well. If the DT arrives and there's no detection, it happens to the best of them. Does happen to the best of them, but alas, will not happen here. Hopefully. I mean, DTs, they can still wreak havoc, and they can still get a lot of economic damage done nonetheless. Hallucination Scout is denied. When I say that, Lancer, did we come in from behind? We sort of did. We did not get eyes on the tech, though. Lancer still in the dark. First observer is being made. And Lancer is establishing his third. And here comes the initial Dark Templar. We do have an observer parked outside the natural, so Lancer should be safe and sound. Like, we have plenty of detection. Another observer on the way. And we shut down both Dartel. Oh my god! Lancer, calm down! We shut down both DTs. Very nicely done. To shut down both Dark Templar. And this hallucination headed into the main. Does confirm. I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter too much that we're scouting the Dark Shrine, but we do get eyes on it nonetheless. And the game is going to settle from here. Both players are expanding, getting into their 3-base economies. What I will say is that so far, Jeshi is behind. The Oracle opener didn't do any damage. The DT follow-up didn't do any damage either. This is a big investment into 2 forms of tech that didn't really pay for themselves. Now we're working towards charge and upgrades and +1, but again, it does mean that Lancer, those resources were spent a little bit more effectively and efficiently for the blue Protoss. As that is reflected in the larger army, more sentries, more stalkers. +1, charge. Jeshi going for disruptors. There's a bold move, but I do like this. Disruptors are a way to bounce back. Even if you're down in army supply, you can make up for that with a couple of good Novas. It is risky just because we don't really have much of an army to sustain ourselves. But if we can get away with it, then we can recover. As here comes a massive warp in. Lancer has double the army supply, but we have a stasis. We get eyes on it. We shut down the stasis. Stasis goes down, and here comes Lancer pushing into the 3rd base. Overcharge gets popped, but we have an overwhelming army. And before Jeshi could even think about those disruptors, before he could even begin the 3rd base, it's gonna fall. Stalkers, they do what they can. They try to engage. Zelta going for the mineral line. Force fields are thrown down, and we're just zoning Jeshi away out of his own base, out of his own 3rd. And we're getting so much done. The mineral line is falling. We turn back the army. And we can just go for the base itself. The Nexus does fall. And yeah, it was just a really rough game here from Jeshi. I mentioned before, the Oracle opener into DTs, now into disruptors. All very tech heavy, all very expensive, and none of it really got going. We're actually going for a Colossus. Okay. Okay. Let him cook, Pappy. Let him cook. I'm ready for it. Unfortunately, we're stuck on 2 bases, right? Like, we're being contained. We have the concave. Lancer ready for the dive. Blinks on the Colossus. Is going to go down. The overcharge 1 second too late. And even with the Colossus, it just was not enough. Not enough to hold on. GG gets caught, and Lancer will take the series at 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Lancer will take the series here. Again, it was just a really rough start at Jeshi. Just nothing went right there. Nothing went well for Jeshi, as he was just struggling to get into his own game and getting into his own 3-base setup. Like, time and time again, he was just denied, essentially. Denied his tech and denied his aggression. And with that, Lancer is our finalist. And now we're getting ready for our qualifying match. The final series of the qualifier. It comes down to a PvP between Lancer and Firefly. And I mentioned before that it's going to be difficult to really distinguish them in a way, or really to favor them. The last time they faced off, it went all the way to Game 7. It was a best of 7 between Lancer and Firefly in the finals of the Asia Qualifier for Stars War 11. It went all the way to the final game, and it did go in favor of Firefly, but that just shows us how close they are in skill and how comparable they are to each other. So, yeah, it's going to be a wild one. And it's going to be a best of 5. Not a best of 7 this time, but it will be a best of 5 qualifying match. Oh boy. Here we go. Just need a moment to set up our players. And yeah, hope everyone has been enjoying themselves. Hope everyone is ready to jump on in. A shout out as well to Jeff Bezos. Thank you so much. Sorry, it happened before and I didn't get a chance to shout you out, but for resubscribing for 13 months, over a year of support. Thank you so much, Jeff. Gracias, papi, gracias for all the support for so long. Gracias, papi, gracias. Drink up, papi, drink up. In case you're curious about when the Americas qualifier starts. Yeah. Shout out to Icecar, did post it in the chat. No Duckling representation in the Americas qualifier. It depends. Like, Eric is very tentative about playing. I know that much. Eric is tentative. I'll message Dolan. I saw Dolan earlier, actually. Hold on. Este Dolan. I'll send Dolan a link. Eric as well. We'll message them. But yes, we're going to be going on a short break. It looks like our players are asking for a break as well, so we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our qualifying match, the final series of this qualifier. It's coming, man. It's coming. I'm sure the Ducklings will show up. We'll see. I'll message them. Again, Eric, he was uncertain if he wanted to compete in it. So it does depend on what he decides. Same with Dolan. But for now, we're going to be going on that short break, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes with the final series. See you soon. And I'll also set up those predictions. You can get your gamba going, Papi. Get your gamba going. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our final series. So the qualifying match of Esports World Cup SC2 2024, the Asia Open qualifier. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to these two final players, two amazing players in their own right, and we are ready to sink our teeth into this PvP, the final PvP of the broadcast. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you believe will make it through. Predictions open. Predictions are open, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have our blue Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Lancer. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Offside Esports. It is Firefly. We go. We are going to be settling into our PvP, and again, I mentioned before that this could go either way. We've seen Lancer and Firefly go back and forth many times, and I would be surprised if this is a one-sided series. If this is a 3-0, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be in awe, Pappy. I'm going to be in awe if this is a 3-0. I expect a back and forth. I expect a series out of this. Best of luck, everyone in the chat, with your predictions, with your Gamba. Best of luck. It's not an easy one to predict. Like, personally, like as a fan, I'm a big fan of Firefly. That's true, but I also recognize and I also respect like Lancer as a player. Like, he definitely can bring it to Firefly as well. Has done so time and time again. So we'll see how this does all pan out. So now we are going to be settling in. We're settling in, Pat. And initially, we do have our 2-gate open. Oh, my apologies. It's going to be a 2-gate open out of Firefly, and Lancer being a little bit greedier, going for a gate cyber expand. With the double gas, we're going for a Stargate first. This is the max packs opener, if you're curious. It is a lot more economic, going for only a single gateway, and will be leading to an expansion. Meanwhile, the Probe Scout will confirm and get eyes on the Stargate. Firefly is fully aware of what Lancer is doing. Lancer is being greedy, and the question becomes, does Firefly respond with a 1-base all-in? How do we respond? How do we react? Firefly going for the cyber block. Let's go. Does double down, does lay the expansion that much further. Behind this, Firefly is going to be backing up. Is going to be backing up, and the question becomes, do we double down with a robo, with a third gateway? Do we set up a proxy? Or do we just expand? That's the question. Really, the onus is on Firefly to react. Cybercore is going to be cancelled, but the Stalkers have arrived. Oh, can we get the base? Ooh, so close. The base will be thrown down. Instead, Firefly going for the Stalker, gets extra hits in, and the Stalker's getting low. One more volley. One more volley. We do catch the Stalker. Ooh. Likewise, Firefly forced deeper and deeper into the base. Oracle does spend its energy on the initial Stalker. Energy is spent. As we shut down both Stalkers back across the map, we do see Firefly likewise building up, is expanding. I was asking earlier, I was posing the question, does Firefly go for an all-in or do we expand? The answer is we expand. We're taking our base, taking up into Blink, in towards the Twilight Council, getting ready for that next step. That's the 5 fixed into mid. Here we go. But yes, as someone is asking in the chat, yeah, best of 5 finals has now been, or did update a couple of minutes ago. But here we go with the Stargate opener. We do have our double Oracle threading the main. We don't get much done though. One more volley. It doesn't quite connect. Oracles, they do escape. Alas, they get no damage done in the main base. Not yet. Lancer does take a slight economic lead, and these Oracles can at least keep Firefly busy and pinned back at home. And we're even setting up a proxy towards the left-hand side. Curious. Are we bold enough to go for a proxy Dark Shrine? Show us what you got. Oh! What's it gonna be? Gateway or Dark Shrine? It's the Dark Shrine. let's go. Proxy Dark Shrine here by Lancer. Bold move. I mean, right now there's no detection. There's no robo. I mentioned this in the previous game, in the previous series, how we have seen players like Max Pax and Hero and Classic just tap out if DTs arrive and if there's no detection. Now, thankfully, we have the robo. We're playing it safe. Thankfully, we're playing it safe. We have a robo on the way. We'll have an observer on the horizon. Likewise, Firefly taking a third. Lancer took a risk, and now there's still a chance that these DTs can get damage done. They can still get into mineral lines and kill workers. But the likelihood of that happening is that much lower now that we have access to an observer. Meanwhile, both players are expanding, of course, getting into their third bases. Like, this is not all in by any means, bear that in mind, but it is a big commitment, and we are investing quite heavily here into the tech structure, into the DTs themselves. Firefly is moving out across the map. Uh-oh. He's going to be moving out. Does have the Stalker advantage. We're pushing into a shield battery. Shield battery does finish up. We can maintain ourselves. Yeah, and the Lancer, he can hold the line. Takes down the Sentry. Is being overwhelmed, though. Again, that higher Stalker count does break through. Firefly just zoning the army away. Takes down the shield battery. That's a kill, not a cancel. Meanwhile, here come the DTs. Meanwhile, here come the Dark Templar. And we're not quite ready for this. Stasis in the main. Oh! Catches two probes. DT's waddling in. Right now, Firefly is focused across the map. He's distracted. As Firefly's distracted, yeah, we get a DT in the natural and in the main base. Observers being chronoed. Probes are going down. And we force back the army. Firefly is turning back around. He will clean this up, but not before losing 9 probes. 10 probes. 11. 12? Not quite. But 11 probes. 11 probes fall to Adepts and Archons. Adepts? DTs and Oracles. What am I saying? Papi, I'm tired. You know what I mean. Basically an Archon. The Oracle is what I meant. The Oracle. DT's wreaking havoc. Stasis trap into the natural. Oh my god. Barely does not finish. Barely doesn't complete. But Firefly does defend. He wants to focus across the map. Blinking quite well. Gaining ground, but we pull the boys. We can afford to lose some workers. Lancer has a massive worker lead. And he holds. Does hold the line. Firefly going to be forced back, bleeding out more Stalkers. And with that, Lancer looking quite comfortable here. Maintains his worker lead, forces back the Stalkers. Firefly forced to expand, is now taking a 4th base, but can he hold on to it? I believe he has yet to scout this. Okay, he has not seen the proxy. Lancer can reinforce on location. And now Lancer has an overwhelming army. No shield battery, no overcharge. Yeah, defending this 4th base, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be possible. It's a numbers game at this point. Firefly cannot keep up and will lose the base. I say that he's going to try to hold on, bleeding out more Stalkers. Lancer can just reinforce another warp into Stalkers on the way. Taking a 4th base. And despite the blinks here from Firefly, we need more time for the shield batteries. Without them, we can't hold on. And even with them, it's still on the way. We have the better Conga, much stronger position here for Lancer. As Firefly is barely holding. Shield battery does finish. Honestly, we can just keep warping in. We just warp in another wave and just keep pushing at this point. Speaking of, another wave is on the way. And this time reinforcing with charge lots. We can commit. We're dipped in. Can commit in, and yeah, Lancer just taking it slow. Taking it very slow here. So methodical. This is giving Firefly the opportunity to bounce back. I mean, now he's able to saturate his 4th. Lancer still doing his own. Lancer does rotate around. We did take note of this earlier in his series against Jeshi, where Lancer was also quite tentative. As we dive in, we get a DT towards the left-hand side, and we just commit into the third. Overcharge gets popped, does help support, and we just kite back. We just kite back out of range of the overcharge. Shaving off Zealots. DT got 11 worker kills. And we can just back off, rotate around, reinforce, and keep pushing. And unfortunately, there's just no high-tech units here. There's no Immortals to fall back on, or Archons, or Disruptors. Firefly is caught out of position. We focus on the shield batteries. We do try to reinforce the Zealots. They're able to do quite a bit here. They do tank for the army of Firefly. But Lancer does the same. Does reinforce with his own Zealots. Zealots do tank a lot of shots. And as Firefly's attempting to hold on, we can just focus on the base itself. The Nexus is going to fall. One more volley. The Nexus. Oh, barely survives. There we go. Does get targeted down. The boys are being pulled. We focus on the Prism, and it's just been a slow death here for Firefly. An uphill battle. In a mirror matchup, there's only so much you can do to bounce back. And whether it was DTs or Disruptors, we really had no answer there. No option for Firefly. Stay strapped into the main. Firefly does respond. And he's going for a base trade. Like that's all we can do. Like a desperation base trade here out of Firefly. Moving out across the map. But at the same time, Lancer just pushing on in. Into the natural. Into the third. We could always recall if need be. We're going to get a decent amount done. A decent amount done here. Killing probes. Lancer's going for the gold. Yeah, GG. GG gets called. As a Firefly just cannot keep up with the production of his opponent, and Lancer will take a lead. GG, well played. Again, it did come down to more so the early game there. Lancer able to achieve so much with his initial DTs, able to get away with a proxy as well, the proxy gateway. So once he took a lead, he was able to maintain it, and Lancer takes game one. Does take game number one here, but it's a best of 5. I'm expecting a back and forth. I said before, I'd be shocked if this was a 3-0 in either direction. I expect this to go the distance, and we'll see where this takes us. Let's go. And let's go. We go, as it looks like we have our map of choice. It's going to be Golden Aura. Golden Aura coming up next. Here we go. We are going to be settling in and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura. We have our red Protoss player down to the series, but still looking to bounce back, and he can. He definitely can. I want to believe he can, as we have representing Offside Esports, our Chinese Protoss, Firefly. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming. Used to go by Cyan, but now he is Lancer. We go. We are going to be settling in. Oh, we have people. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up in the chat. People discussing level players. I think a lot of these players are quite comparable with each other, but it's also something to bear in mind. Like, it can be easy to misjudge things. Like, for example, we've seen players like Lancer, as we're going for 2 gate openers, so let's go. Interesting setup here. 2 gate opener on the low ground for Firefly. bold move. But we have seen players like Lancer and Firefly like defeat players like Max Packs and Showtime before. Or like I should say Firefly take maps off of Max Packs, and I think they've both been in Showtime in the past. But that's like a specific matchup sort of thing. Like I mentioned before, for example, like Firefly, his biggest weakness is PvZ, where a player like Showtime is maybe more well-rounded. Even if another player can maybe look stronger in a specific matchup, I mean, it's not about a specific matchup here in StarCraft, right? Like we taking into consideration like all of their matchups and all their performances and stuff like that. I think the biggest shame with Firefly is that it's a similar thing that what happened last year for Oliveira. If you remember, a lot of people, there were a lot of clowns in the chat downplaying Oliveira and like saying that like he didn't deserve like his IEM win and stuff like that. And a lot of that, I believe, a lot of the perception of that was because Oliveira in the aftermath of IEM didn't play in a lot of tournaments. But if you remember, it was because of visa issues, and the same thing happened with Firefly. Like, if you remember last year, Oliveira couldn't play in Young Shipping and he couldn't play in Home Story Cup because of visa issues. And likewise, Firefly has also been unable to travel and compete in some of these otherwise foreign events because of similar issues as well. Visa or otherwise. So they get like less opportunities to compete and really perform and really showcase themselves. Which is a shame. But regardless, you know, we're here to enjoy the matches before us. We don't need to like talk about like other regions and compare them and stuff like that. We're focusing on Asia. We're focusing on Asia right now, and so far, we do pick off 2 units. Not bad pickups here out of Firefly. Meanwhile, oh my god, I was about to say we're setting up for a 1-base all-in, but we do cancel the 3rd gateway, and we are looking to expand. So never mind. Firefly, he wanted it. He was thinking about it, but no, he does pivot away. Is going to be expanding. It looks like he has recognized that with all these shield batteries, Lancer will hold. Lancer will hold on. As we see, Firefly going to be trading here against Lancer, still trying to break through, but with 2 shield batteries, again, there's no breaking this. There's no breaking this position. Firefly will be forced back. Likewise, with the help of the Warp Prism, we can juggle into the main. Can juggle into the main base. Likewise, forcing the fight out of range of the shield batteries, but alas, we have enough to keep up. Able to zone that Prism away. We do get 3 probe kills. 3 probes do fall. But Firefly does pick up, does get away, does get out. And the Lancer is looking to secure himself. Not just with these shield batteries, we have Immortals on the way, the Sentries, of course. Lancer is holding on. Firefly dips back in. We're in position. Oh! We do zone that Prism away. And back at home, Firefly, likewise, also trying to settle down, is investing into additional Immortals, which is interesting to me. You don't invest this hard into Immortals this early on unless you want to make use of them. Lancer is because he's under threat. But Firefly, likewise, is keeping up as well. As Firefly is going to be forced back. Eventually, Lancer does break out. You can see Firefly now moving out with those Immortals we mentioned earlier. We've got 2 of them. They are spotted by the hallucination. Lancer is aware. And we'll see what we can get done with these Immortals as we drop into the main. We focus on the shield battery. Not a bad pickup. Oh, the Prism is under fire. Prism taking a lot of hits, but it looks like we punish those Stalkers. 1 Immortal goes down. Oh, and suddenly this wasn't too worth it for Firefly. Looking at the trades, that was 1 Immortal for 3 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the Immortals themselves are so precious in this game state, and we're both going for Glaives. Oh my god, we're just doubling down. Both players are doubling down. With Glaives being researched, it looks like both players are going for 2-base all-ins. So 2-base all-in versus 2-base all-in. Basically, mass Immortal Glaives versus Immortal Glaives. We saw this previously with, it was Was it Firefly versus Lemon? I believe it was Firefly versus Lemon. Yeah, we saw Firefly also embrace this style. And we have a gateway explosion. 5 gates on the way. 7 in total. We're committed. we're just doubling down into our 2-base all-in. Likewise, Lancer doing the same. Is throwing down additional gateways, which will reinforce with another Immortal, able to pick up a pylon. Again, Firefly being so risky here with this move out, but so far it's paying off. Hasn't lost the Prism. Likewise, Lancer doing the same. Getting into the mineral line, poking away at the probes. And Lancer does get 2 workers, keeping the army pinned back at home. Whereas Firefly wants to commit to the all-in, and there we go, we're moving out across the map. But the Prism does keep supply back at home. Oh no! We overextend! Prism taking damage. Oh my god. Calm down! Prism does take some hits. And Firefly is moving out. Now what's important is that no one has Blink. And what I mean by that is that Force Fields. Force Fields can actually do so well in this game state, as you need the War Prism to juggle back and to save your units. We lost the Immortal! Uh-oh. A bit of miscontrol at the Lancer. The Immortal does go down. Force Fields are thrown down as well. Go down to Force Fields. We wall up. Firefly does juggle back. And the War Prism was recalled. Overcharge about to run out. Firefly does reinforce, and again, we are committed. I mean, both players are. They're committed to their 2-base play. Glaves is done for both players. And do we commit to the Shade? We somewhat do. Adepts say shaded to the mineral line. Probes are going down. We got 4 worker kills so far. And Firefly is gaining ground. He's pushing forward. There's no more energy on the shield batteries. Overcharge was already popped. We have no overcharge. So far, decent juggling, but the Immortal goes down. And Firefly, it looks like we may have just barely done it. Yeah, it looks like there's almost nothing left. We're down to 1 Immortal. Lancer is being broken. GG gets called, and Firefly takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. We are going to be settling in. Again, very, very committed there by Firefly. I was a little bit concerned just because Lancer was more or less keeping up with the quality and the size of the army as well, but we saw that Lancer, he did lose his Immortal across the map. He was a little bit too trigger happy with the shield battery overcharge. I don't know if you noticed, but in the first engagement where we threw down all those force fields, Lancer he did pop off with the overcharge, and with that it did run out really early on before the main fight occurred. So again, just a little bit too afraid with that overcharge, and did pop prematurely. And with that, that means that the shield batteries really didn't come into play in the defense. On top of that, Firefly able to force those adepts to be stuck in the main, as we did force like a big commitment there to keep adepts in the main base to defend. And GG, well played. Whew. We have a tied up series. Back. I'll try to focus on the games. Well, I'll pull away from chat. We'll focus, Pack. We'll focus. Is LPF psionic? Oh. Let's go. He probe drops on his main. Oh, Fiat! Oh, good morning, Fiat. Good morning. Fiat. Here we go. We are tied up and we're headed into game 3. As a reminder, this is a best of 5 qualifying match. Still plenty more games ahead of us. I'm just happy to see that we have a more back and forth between these two players. And we're getting into that 3rd game, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Mystery Gaming, being forced into a tied up series. It is Lancer. And Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Offside Esports from land of China. It is Firefly. Tying us up and headed into game 3. Still have more games ahead of us, but at least we have a back and forth. That's all I ever wanted. It was a bold move for Firefly to commit to the 2-ace all-in. Again, Lancer was more or less keeping up. He was down in gateways, true. Got less gateways than his opponent. For the most part, going for a similar style with his own glaives. Crazy. So we're getting into that second game. We do see Lancer going for his initial 2 gases. Firefly doing the same. This time, no crazy setup, no low ground gateways. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Firefly. And Lancer going for once again, a bit of a max packs. Going for a gate into Cybercore, into Expand. Okay. Not the first time Lancer has done this. If you recall, Lancer did go for this opener in game number 1 as well. So it's going to be gateway into Cybercore. Because of the earlier 2-gas setup, we do have access to go for a Stargate. Stargate before Nexus. So we should be going for the Stargate into an Oracle. And once again, Firefly has the option to respond and to react with an all-in. Now that he sees how greedy Lancer wants to be, how economic he wants to be, we can respond. Firefly going for the pylon block. Zealot is forced out. There's that Stargate that we spoke about to go for the Oracles. And we can go for the Cybercore on top of this. Oh. There we go. Cybercore is thrown down. It's almost night for Fiatru. Ay, ay, ay. It's almost bedtime. Today I learned that Moja has a mustache. Does he? I think he does, right? I can't. It's been a while. I have to recheck the home story cupboard. It was really cool to see Moja pop up yesterday. It was really cool. As the Cybercore does complete, Firefly is still not committing too hard, is moving out with initially Stalkers. Oracle's on the way, but I imagine Firefly is looking to expand, as we haven't invested into anything else yet. But there we go, there's the expansion for Lancer, goes to the natural. Likewise, Firefly doing the same. Bearing in mind that Firefly scouted the Stargate earlier, so he's fully aware of the Oracles, and is looking to intercept. Oracle's on the way, the Stalkers are in position. We do get some first shots off. Zoning the Oracle back, and we're going to keep on pushing. We're headed for the natural. Shield battery almost done. Second shield battery on the way. Void Ray as well. Lancer reacting quite hard to this. A big reaction out of Lancer. Oracle moving in. Nothing at the natural. And in the main base, we do have a shield battery and sentries. We should be okay. We should be okay as a Firefly has controlled the low ground. Ooh, bleeds out a Stalker. Does force a cancel, but losing a Stalker, losing 2 Stalkers. Ooh, not too worth it. Firefly bleeding out some gas. Back at home, working towards his Twilight Council. Stasis Trap did connect. Up. Going for Blink. Going for our Blink Stalkers. I heard Kexiano hit 6.8. Bobby, Kexiano is the best player in Poland. What do you mean? Greater than Spirit, greater than a laser. He's the Prince of Poland. Early alarm for Clem. Smurge. Smurge but true. As Lancer is now looking to move out. Now that he's defended, we have 2 Oracles for the main base. We have our Stalker Void Ray pushing through the center. We'll see if Firefly can keep up. No side defense here at the natural, but his main army is somewhat in position. I say somewhat. Does move out. And is moving out to expand. Does not get eyes on the proxy. It's going to be pulled back. Oracles get behind the base. Does get behind the base. Lancer pushing forward, and it looks like Firefly gets caught out of position. Not where he needs to be. Pylon will fall. We shouldn't be able to force a cancel on the base, at least not yet. Army does engage, but here come reinforcements. Yeah, Firefly not ready for this. Stalker's being forced back. Looks like we will at least shut down the proxy. Proxy does fall. And from here, Lancer backs off. We can calm down. We can calm things down. Firefly holding onto his bases. Macroing up. Ooh, we'll still bleed off some probes. Likewise, Lancer taking his own third base, and we're calming things down. Despite the aggression, despite what we had earlier, we're calming things down, easing our way into the mid game. Both players setting into their third bases. Settling in. Lancer working towards charge. Firefly, I imagine, doing the same. There we go. Charge also on the way. See how we settle in. Spirit is better than Laser and Christiana right now, then tell Spirit to play the next Polish tournament. I would agree there. I would agree. That doesn't make him the Prince of Poland though. That's the problem. Este Spirit. As Stalkers, they do hit the natural. We do see Lancers trying to outposition Firefly once again. Stalkers not where they need to be. Two more probes. Lancer gets the hell out of there. Nice movement here out of our blue Protoss. Likewise, rotating back around. We're still just building up. Just some light harass here from Lancer. The game is going to be calming down a little bit more. And from here, we can start to take up and work towards something like Archons, even Disruptors. Archon production has begun for Lancer. Or at least the Temple Archives. Yeah, there we go. High Tempo on the way. Stays trapped shield batteries. Lancer getting ready at the third. And Firefly, knocking down these rocks, is moving out. Does take the center fourth. Fourth base is being taken. Base is on the way. Firefly moving out. He does spot the main army. And armies is spotted. And Lancer does have the current supply lead, but a lot of that is in Zealot. Bear that in mind. Oracles get behind the main base, and Lancer is collapsing on the fourth. He is spotted. Firefly keeping up. Does keep up with the movement. The Archons, they go ham. Yeah, they go for the Zealots. Lancer is being forced back. But last one breaking through the front line here, and Firefly, can he hold on? He's in a bit of trouble. Yeah, he bleeds off all the Zealots. We're getting on top of the Archons, and Lancer, he's breaking through. He's breaking through the main army, gets on top of the Prism. Warpin will not be denied. And Lancer, he has control of the Nexus. As I say that, is down in the Stalker counts. It may not matter. It may not matter. Firefly gets forced back. Nexus getting low. Do we have another warp in? Yeah, we barely do. That's going to be a kill on the fourth base. Nice snipe there on the Prism, but last Lancer, he maintains himself. He's got his fourth behind this. Does maintain himself. And Firefly, there's that much more onus, there's that much more pressure on him to just get damage done. In a mirror matchup, it's not going to be easy. He has the Lancer, he has reinforcements coming in. Christian, almost like Christiana. We were talking about Christiana earlier. Firefly being forced back. Does get into a mineral line. Nicely done. Probes are going down. This is something we've been lacking throughout a lot of these games here from Firefly, is harassment. Whether it's oracles or adepts, and hey, now we're popping up. 9 probe kills. Oh my god. 9 probes in the natural. Not bad. That does help even things up. Lancer still has a worker lead. That's how far ahead he was. But not as large as it once was here. So again, Firefly just trying to keep up with his opponent. Leads out. Was that a prism? No idea. I think it was a pylon. But yeah, Lancer, after that initial fight earlier, he does maintain the supply lead. He still had the higher worker count. With that, leads into a larger army. And Lancer is looking to break through. We do have an overcharge that can help. There's a factor here for Firefly. Will help him hold. +3 is on the way for both players. Lancer rotating around. I mean, again, he doesn't have to push into the 4th. He can just head towards a 3rd. Firefly keeps up with the rotation. Does keep up. We can punish the gas geyser. Lancer happily mining behind this. And we're just waiting for Lancer to pull that trigger. Like, what's terrifying here is that Lancer has got Immortals. He's up in Archon production as well. I think the only thing Firefly has is a higher Zealot count. Yeah, he's got 33 Zealots. That's a lot of Zealots, Papi. 33. His army is almost pure Zealot at this point, and it can do well for itself if we can avoid the Archon shots. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be an easy engage here for Firefly, as Lancer has maxed out. He's reset 200 supply. Firefly splitting up his army. Going for a surround. But who's going to surround who? Who collapses on who? As Firefly, he has to respond. He has to react. Zelta pulling back. Archons pull forward. To have the overcharge. But we're getting into the base. We're getting into the mineral line. And there's only so much Zealot can do here against an Archon army. Yeah, the Archons are going ham here. They get so many shots off. At the same time, though, Firefly with the Blink Stalkers does break through. And his own Archons, they take the fight. Firefly forcing Lancer back. Oh my god. Whew. We hold. It costs us a mineral line, or half a mineral line, but we do hold. And now we can go for a big counterattack. Again, I was focusing on the Archons of Lancer, but hey, the Archons of Firefly, they did well for themselves. Did do well. Army out of position. We're looking to knock down this base. And can we get the Nexus? Zelts into the mineral line. Reinforcements have arrived, but alas, Lancer, he only has a gateway army. He lost all the Immortals. I would actually love to, like, look back at what happened to the Immortals of Lancer. He had, like, 3 Immortals, right? Ay, ay, ay. But last, they all got shut down. GG gets called. Firefly takes the fight, pulls off the counterattack, and takes the lead in the series. GG. Oh my god. I didn't believe, Papi. I didn't believe in the power of the 33 Zealots, but I should have. Should have believed. GG, well played. Firefly does take a lead. Looking at the army sizes here. Yeah, again, it just came to that final fight. Again, I kind of wish that I had like a replay there of going over the fight, of going over those Immortals and what they were able to accomplish. Likewise, how much damage the Archons could do as well. I know they were in the back line for a while, and maybe they did need to be a little bit further forward just to tank Zealot shots as well. Alas, Firefly able to take the fight, and with that, Firefly now 1 game away from qualifying, from making it through. Let's go. Let us go. As it looks like our next game is going to be on Oceanborn. I apologize for being a little bit out of it. Do apologize. We'll fix that. We'll fix. But yes, our next game is going to be on Oceanborn, and Firefly, he's one game away. One more game is all he needs to make it through and qualify for the closed qualifier. Likewise, Lancer has an opportunity here to fight back, to bounce back, and force an ace match. I'm hoping for an ace match. I mentioned before that the last time they faced in the best of 7, it went all the way to Game 7 at Stars War 11, and I'm hoping that's the same as here as well, where we can go all the way to the ace match. We'll see, though. We'll see. It's been pretty close. What I will say, though, is that a lot of these games have been coming down to the mid-game. We've seen a lot of mid-game between these two players with, like, Chargel Archon versus Chargel Archon, where it comes down to our overall engagements, into our positioning as well. Does come down to that. And, yeah, it's been pretty intense, and it's been escalating quite quickly, like, from one to the other. We win a fight, then we send it, man. We just send it. We go across the map. We rush on over. Get the win. No holding back. So we'll see where this takes us. As it looks like we have our players ready. They did need a moment, but they are ready to jump back in. And we'll see if Lancer can bring it back and force that ace match, or if it'll end here and now. I do think both Lancer and Firefly could be quite successful in the closed qualifier, but I'm gonna say that the closed qualifier, we'll go over it after this series, is quite brutal. Very brutal. It is top 2 out of all the qualified players that can make it into the main event. It's very cutthroat, very cutthroat. But we do wish them the best of luck. And here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Chinese Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports, leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from qualifying. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss, the blue Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. The pressure is on. One more loss and it's all over. One more loss and the run will end. Can we bring it back? It is Lancer. Mentioned before that Lancer, of course, is Cyan, for those that are unaware. Cyan did name change relatively recently, like a month ago at this point, a couple of weeks ago. And did say that it was in a way inspired by Oliveira. For those who don't know, back when Oliveira initially name changed and when Oliveira won I Am Katowice, he did spark a bit of a, I don't know if I want to say resurgence, but he motivated a lot of the Chinese scene, a lot of the Chinese players, and a lot of them in solidarity with Oliveira did name change. This was, again, over a year ago at this point, but a lot of them did name change, and a lot of them did do so, you know, again, to like support Oliveira and you know, in solidarity with him. From my understanding, I believe Cyan name changed after Oliveira's run at DreamHack Dallas. I believe that was part of the reasoning for it, from my understanding, which in my mind makes sense. I think there was a post made regarding the Chinese scene about how a lot of the Chinese community did react similarly to Oliveira's performance at DreamHack Dallas, to how he performed at I Am Katowice the previous year, which makes sense. Like for me personally, like as a viewer, as a fan of StarCraft, Oliveira's series were the most entertaining ones. Like I was in love with Oliveira versus Raynor and Oliveira versus Serral, like in the follow-up as well. Like that was like the highlight for the DreamHack playoffs, at least for me. I enjoyed them a lot more than the other semis or the finals even. So at least from my understanding, that's kind of part of where the name change comes from. But I do know that a lot of people from the Chinese community are maybe even watching at the moment. If you have some more insight as to the reasoning for Lancer, maybe I'm just completely wrong. Maybe he just really likes the Lancer unit in Stormgate. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just very fond of the Lancer class in Final Fantasy. It's possible. But now Cyberpunk. Once again, same opener. It's the max packs opener of a Gate Cyber Stargate Expand. Out of Lancer, Firefly has tried to Knight and is going for a one base all-in. Oh my god, let's go. What do we have at home? We have 2 gateways, we have 3 gateways, and a 4th gateway as well. It's going to be a 4-gate, one base all-in out of Firefly. Let's go. Initially, we have our 2-Stalker aggression. This is the same aggression that we saw in the previous games. So far, everything's looking normal. But really, it's anything but. 3rd Stalker has arrived, a proxy being set up as well. But yeah, if you maybe have a little bit more insight as to the name change, would love to be informed. So give us some insight, Pappy. As the Void Ray has arrived, you do focus on the 1st Stalker. Nicely done. Again, that's the power of this Stargate opener. If you realize that you're in danger, you can go into Void Rays. The proxy is spotted, and now Lancer has confirmation. He already has a 2nd shield battery on the low ground. We have to hold, we have to survive. Prismatic Alignment is on cooldown. And we don't have the overcharge yet, but we're about to. Uh-oh, do we overextend? Void Ray takes a lot of hits. We get a Stalker. That's a kill, not a cancel on the shield battery. 3rd shield battery goes down. We force a cancel. Void Ray taking a lot of hits. We do pop the overcharge just in time. The Void Ray survives. But the overcharge is about to run out. And once it does, Firefly, he can commit once again. Look at the unit side. That's 11 Stalkers. 11 Stalkers for Firefly. We're pushing in. And we have control of the lower ground. Shield batteries are falling. Pylon as well. But you know what we're doing? We're buying time for a 3rd Void Ray. 3rd Void Ray's on the way. Stalker's not committing yet. Do you have that sentry? We can force field the ramp. We can cut off the army. Meanwhile, we're just buying time. More shield batteries on the way. We're setting up here on the high ground. Void Rays, they rotate over towards the proxy. Bold move. Void Rays are revealed. What do? Do we respond? Now we're pushing in. Up. Not quite. Void Rays, they depower the gateway, and we're expanding. Okay, bold move. We're expanding. Busne Colossus for high ground vision. Let's go. We have our high ground vision. We focus on the gateway. Void Rays do rotate over. Gateway goes down. And again, Firefly working on the next step. Is attempting to transition out of this. Twilight Council's on the way. That's going to be for Blink. Void Rays move out. Right, I'll catch up with the chat after the series. See if we got some answers. As this is a bold move out of Lancer, but it's going to work out quite well. Firefly's out of position, and can we force a cancel? Oh, that's a kill on the shield battery. It's going to be a kill. We get a probe. We ignore the base. We're going into the middle line, going for the pylon. And we did force a recall. Pylon does survive. And Void Rays are forced back. And now the turns have tabled. Now suddenly, it was Firefly initially going for the one base all-in. Now it's Lancer. Now Lancer is going for his own one base all-in. We have 3 gateways. We have Immortal Production as well. Do we expand or do we commit? It looks like we're going to be expanding. Okay. We're calming things down. We are. Now both getting to our natural bases. Firefly does have a very nice lead, and the pressure is on Lancer. Now, are we going to be seeing a Twilight Council in Glaive Adepts? We've seen a lot of Glaives so far tonight in PvP, which would be indicative of a 2-base all-in. And we can see that Firefly is checking very, very vigorously here. He's just making sure that there's nothing hidden, there's no crazy, Twilight Council into Dark Shrine or researching Twilight Council. It's on Firefly to make sure that he maintains his lead and he doesn't get caught off guard. Is moving out. Denies the scout, shuts down the hallucination. Looking at the army sizes, we have 16 Stalkers of the 4 of his opponents. Lancer's actually quite vulnerable, and Blink is about to finish. Firefly, this move out. He can pop off. Oh. Can it pop off? Now, we do have a fake Immortal in the mix. Is that fake Immortal? Firefly, he just expands. Like, he has no reason to commit. Doesn't have to dive in. He will, though. Blinks into the main. And will blink out. Does blink down to low ground. We do force field the ramp. We're going for the probe kills. We force a recall. The army does recall here to low ground. We pick off one Void Ray. Solid blinks. Oh my god, we don't lose anything. Impressive. Firefly does pull away, getting a Void Ray. But again, he's just dancing with the army while he expands and gets ahead. He gets further ahead, once again diving into the main. Getting 2 probes. And a Void Ray. And blinking out. Solid trades here. Bleeding off 2 Stalkers. But still worth it for Firefly. Back at home, getting his own Gateway Explosion. Charges on the way, Forger +1. Gonna be a Swarm Toss style, basically Gateway heavy here at a Firefly. Now, what is a little bit concerning as Lancer's building up is that he is quite intense when it comes to Immortal production. He has a 3rd, soon to be, I imagine, a 4th Immortal as well. If we can build up the Immortal counts, we can make up for an otherwise smaller army. As I say that, economically, though, is where Lancer is struggling. No extra gases, no 3rd base. Again, Firefly can make up for the lack of Immortals with just a superior army, or just a larger army is maybe a better way of putting it. Can still overwhelm. Glaives on the way. We joked about this earlier. Like, are we gonna see Glaive at F? The answer is yes. Of course it is. 2 base all in. 2 base all in here out of Lancer. We're going for more gateways. It's all or nothing. It's gonna be Glaive at F's and Immortals. We've seen a lot of this build, or a lot of this play style today. Seen it like 4 or 5 times. Firefly pulling back. Does respect the army. Does pull back home. And the goal here should be to just chip away at the army early on, to just make sure that we don't get an overwhelming force of adepts. We can maybe pick off an Immortal or 2. Firefly does reinforce. He has charge. He has +1. We dive for the Immortals. We focus on 1 Immortal, the 2nd, and soon to be the 3rd as well. Beautiful force fields. We lock down the Immortals. They get completely shut down. And without the Immortals, suddenly there's no more backbone. There's no backbone to this army. What do we have? We have Adepts, but only Adepts. And on their own, what can they really do against this army here of Blink Stalkers? Nothing. Oh boy. I mean, we can go for a base trade. The Prism, no! The Prism gets caught out. We don't quite react. We don't quite dive on it. Instead, we just engage with the main army. Yeah, Adepts are falling. We're going for the shade. We can always blink away. And charge also coming in to reinforce, and it looks like Firefly, he has too much. He's going to overwhelm his opponent. I was hoping for an ace match. I was hoping for a game 5, but Firefly says no, as he will be qualifying for the closed qualifier. GG gets called, and Firefly will take the series 3-1. He will be our Asia representative. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Firefly for making it through into the closed qualifier. And my condolences to Lancer. My condolences. I mean, Lancer is an amazing player in his own right. He did make a series out of this. And I mean, again, I was a little bit in shock from Crimson Court. I was so certain in Crimson Court that that Lancer was going to take that game and take a lead in the series, but somehow, some way, Firefly was able to take that fight and take that win in the end, gain momentum, and that led into the overall victory for Firefly. It was just, yeah, an amazing performance. Amazing performance from Firefly. And with that, GG, well played. And now we can have a look at where we're headed. At the bracket. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. What I'm referring to is that this is a qualifier for a qualifier. Exclamation mark B. We can have a look together. Over the course of the past day, we have been going over all the regional qualifiers. From the Korea qualifier, we had Stats, Bunny, and Shin. One of each race. Zerg, Terran, and Protoss. From the European qualifier, we had Showtime, Laser, and Lambo. There were a lot of upsets in the European qualifier. I do recommend checking out the VODs because we had some crazy results and some crazy matches. But we have Protoss, 2 Zerg players. From the Asia qualifier, yet to be updated, but Firefly does slide in here. He does slip in through the Asia qualifier as a Protoss representative. And we have one more qualifier left in how many hours time? In like 7 hours-ish? Something like that. So that around 7-ish hours time, we're going to be live with the Americas qualifier for one more player to slot in. Let me just double check that. It's in 8.5 hours. 8.5 hours time for the next qualifier. And all these players are going to be seeded into a bracket. They're going to be seeded into this double elimination bracket. One player qualifies from the upper half, the other player qualifies from the lower half. So of these players up here, of all these players, 8 of them, we have 2 making it into the main event. If you're curious, like, where are the people that are usually here? Where are the kind of the top tier players like Maru and Dark and Cyril and Raynor and Hero Marine? They're all invited. They're all already seeded into the main event because of their performances throughout the year of StarCraft in the EPT Pro circuit, as well as DreamHack events at IEMs. The other remaining players have already been invited in. This is kind of like the last chance qualifier. You know, these players didn't have enough EPT points to make it over other players, or they didn't have any championships to their name. So this is their final shot to make it into the Esports World Cup. So best of luck. Best of luck to Shin, Laser, Lambo, Bunny, Stat, Showtime, Firefly, and the eventual final player from the Americas region. Best of luck. And again, we're going to be live in 8 hours. We are going to be live in 8 hours time with the final qualifier. We're going to be featuring players like Trigger, Scarlet, Future, Diego, Papi, Epic. Maybe some of our own will be there as well, the CranKy Ducklings. Eric and Dolan have been notified, and if they're available, then they'll be there. Otherwise, there may be some opportunities for other players to have a deep run and to make it through into that main event instead. Is possible. So we'll be here for the Americas qualifier. Outside of that, a reminder as well, the closed qualifier here is going to be taking place, I believe, on Sunday. Yeah, I believe Sunday is going to be the closed qualifier. And unfortunately, the closed qualifier is not open to the community casters. So far, the qualifiers have been covered by people like ourselves, like Wardy, Rotterdam, Steadfast, Biomov, Chicken Man, etc. Right? We've all been covering the qualifiers, the open qualifiers. The closed qualifiers, from my understanding, is not available to us and is going to be covered by like an official stream. There's going to be an official stream specifically covering this event. I think there's most likely like an Esports World Cup like Twitch channel that's going to be going live and covering this. And I believe they're going to be contracting, or they're going to be signing specific casters. Like, I don't think there's been an official announcement regarding which who's going to be covering the Esports World Cup, but I imagine, like, I don't know, your typical casters like Pig. I think maybe Pig, Rotterdam, maybe Wardy, whoever was at the previous events. What's it called? All Gamers? Gamers 8, that's it. I was like, what? What's it called? Gamers 8. I imagine like the talent lineup that they had at Gamers 8 will most likely be replicated here. I would imagine. I don't know. We'll see. It is up to the people working at the Esports World Cup. Well, I mean, I say that. I think it's organized by ESL. But so yeah, there's gonna be an official stream for the closed qualifier, and I wish them all the best of luck. So we won't be covering the closed qualifier. I'd love to. The closed qualifier would be a lot of fun. We might be able to cast it via replays or something later. I don't know. We'll see. You know what? Part of me is feeling thankful. I'm more than happy to just like sit back and to just watch from bench. You know, like I do. I've been getting very worn out recently. I do apologize. Like, I was zoning out like halfway through the cast. Oh, sorry, halfway through that final series. I was into it at the very end, but like halfway through the final series, like I was a little bit like distracted, and I think I was just a little bit tired. But I mean, it's bedtime, you know. Now I can go and get some sleep. I'm gonna go and get some sleep, and again, we'll be back for the Americas qualifier. It is midnight here. It's 11:30 p.m. here in Australia, so time to get some rest, time for bed, and we'll be back for the Americas. We'll be back. I'll be well rested. I'll be well rested. I promise. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I will get those predictions paid out. I got you. I got you. Bam. Got your predictions paid out. Likewise, catching up in the chat. Catching up. Catching up. Oh wait, I have to win another qualifier to make it through. Yeah. Another qualifier, Pappy. Another qualifier. It's so brutal. Yo, shout out to Sinistro in the chat. Hello, hello. Eon Blue as well. Okay, I'm catching him, catching him. He just likes chainsaw bayonets. Ah, I see. He said Lancer's after the character from Fate/Stay Night. What is that? Is that like an anime game? Fate/Stay Night. A 24 episode anime series. Okay. Okay. I understand. I understand. This is how I feel. Lancer's a fine name. Changing your name from what people have known you for over a decade is the weird bit. Yes, special. Yeah, Wayne. Este Wayne. Kappa. Got a lot of love. Got a lot of love for those players. What's with all these terrible name changes? True. What's the best name change? I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like the best name change has to be from Rattata to Wayne, right? From Rattata to what Wayne is now. That has to be the best name change, right? Question. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Was it? Am I thinking of Innovation or Zest or both, where they had like a really weird name change that was like Booger or something? Right? Was it Pichilgab? I remember like it was either Innovation or Zest or both, where they had like kind of a weird ID previously in Brood War, and then they switched to what they are now. So there've been some good name. We need a tier list. we need a tier list of good name changes for like a positive swing to it. Let's go. They've been some good ones. Give me my duckling dollars. Aha, we give them out. I will take a nap. I'll take a nap. The main event is half Terran. It is. There's a lot of Terran in the main event. So I'm just quickly catching up. But with that, I guess we're wrapping up. Yeah. $7 million for the best performing team across all games. Damn. It's crazy. Thanks for the casting. Oh, you're welcome. Hope you all had a great time. Hope you all had a great stream. So yeah, with that, we're done. We are wrapping up for the night. If you want to stick around, we're going to be streaming another StarCraft streamer. who is live right now. Who can we who can we raid? Who can we send our love to? I see Trigger streaming Osu. If Trigger was playing StarCraft, Trigger should be practicing. Well, I guess I know a lot of people, a lot of players, they practice Osu like before playing, just because it, like, you know, just for their like reaction times and stuff like that, for their micro. It's like a micro challenge sort of thing. So Trigger warming up with Osu. Who else is live? I see Monsieur Sadsack. Strange is live. We raided Strange yesterday. We'll raid someone else. Who else is live? We'll find someone. We'll find someone to raid. So yeah, with that, we're wrapping up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Follow us if you want to tune in to more StarCraft. We're live on a daily basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're live tomorrow with the Americas Qualifier. We're live tomorrow with the Korean StarCraft League, with ESL Open Cups, with WTL, Kung Fu Cup as well, and many other events. Cheesadelphia in a couple of weeks. So follow us if you're interested on all the social medias. Again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're also streaming on YouTube. Exclamation mark YouTube in the chat. And you will get a link to our YouTube channel where we upload on a daily basis. Plenty of VODs, plenty of content on YouTube. So if you can't tune in live, and if you want to watch the VODs, YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. We'll see you in like 10 hours. We'll see. No, sorry, in 8 hours time. We'll see you. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go get some sleep. Hasta luego. Ciao. Ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.